We've got used, lots of used, at Erickson Chevrolet Buick.
Keeping Hollywood real. TMZ, weeknights at 9:30 on Fox 18.
I want to work for the Dodgers even when I'm dead and gone. I want you to look at me and say to me, you want to work for This Week in Baseball when you're dead and gone.
Major League Baseball Productions presents
Oh, what a play!
This Week in Baseball, the show that goes beyond the game.
Let's go to work, come on. Swung out and belted. Oh, my God. This one is over. Ah, boy.
This week, we touch base with the Dodgers. And later in the show, you'll see Tommy Lasorda receive a very special honor.
To be honored by the Emperor of Japan, why, that's awesome.
But in L.A. these days, it's all about Manny.
The Manny Ramirez show today. You on TV today?
I am?
Yeah.
First off, the dreadlocks. You know, there they are. He's such a lovable character. The LA people love him.
Crowd wants him to take a curtain call. Up the steps he comes, and he salutes the crowd right back.
The dreadlocks have caught on. Experiencing no hair myself, I certainly can't relate to that. I did get a couple of text messages from Jeter wanting to know if I'm growing the dreadlocks yet. But most fun I've had is the fact that he's been a big player for us.
And a drive to left. No doubt about it.
When Manny joined the team in July last year, he almost single-handedly carried them into the playoffs, where the Dodgers fed off his confidence and swept the Cubs.
He looks so relaxed, you know. Every time he steps up to the plate, he makes you feel like he's going to get a hit, you know, no matter who's on the mound. I mean, that's what I notice when I'm watching him. His body, his composure is just phenomenal.
To watch him go up, you know, he puts that bat behind the plate, he settles in, puts those 2 feet in the batter's box. His body language tells me, you know, I dare you to get me out.
And a line shot down the left field line.
He's very serious about his craft. For young kids to see that, you don't take anything for granted.
Oh, stop it. Get a chance to see him play up close and, you know, watching him, you know, prepare for the game. Wow, how you do that? Hit that ball. Seeing how dedicated it is definitely something I think helps out the whole team.
Pitchers would rather challenge anyone but Manny, so the guys hitting around him are getting better pitches to hit, like Orlando Hudson, who so far is hitting over 380 to lead the team.
Takes a pitch that seemed to be tailing away from him and pulled it into the gap.
Got great chemistry on the field, great chemistry in the clubhouse. We have a lot of fun, but you know what? We still got a lot of baseball left.
With veterans like Hudson, Rafael Furcal, and Manny leading by example, the team's core group of younger players are starting to fulfill all expectations.
Swing, line drive, base hit into center field. Matt Kemp delivers.
This year, he has like a different aura about him. It's a little bit more business-like this year, and it's kind of scary because he's got all the, you know, the talent in the world, but I think this year he's really tapping into it.
Swinging a high fly ball to right center field, and it is gone. It's a grand slam for Matt Kemp.
I call it beast mode. You know, I'm in beast mode. I'm just trying to do whatever it takes to help the team.
Line drive, center field. Lay out! Matt Kemp makes the catch off the shoot off.
Then throws back, and they'll get the double play.
You know, every year you want to get better and better, and I feel like I'm better than I was last year, so we'll see how it goes.
Matt Kemp on his way to stardom.
Kemp kicked off this season with a 14-game hitting streak as the Dodgers have taken an early lead in the NL West. And folks are taking notice.
Oh, yeah, we do.
There's no question that the outfield is scary, but the infield also has plenty of talent.
I think we have one of the best defenses out there right now. We work at it. Guys don't take it for granted, and they know that's a big part of it. And, you know, with our pitching, our pitching's been, real good this year.
Now the crowd is into it, hoping for lucky strikeout number 13.
My job is to go out there and make sure the pitchers are getting the best out of their ability.
Fastball got him swinging.
First story. Wow, that young kid's phenomenal.
It's still spring in LA, but they're already dreaming about October baseball. This Week in Baseball is brought to you by Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball.
Pepsi's got another hit on their hands, and it's called Pepsi Throwback. Introducing Pepsi Throwback, made with natural sugar, only for a limited time. Sing it, baby.
Pepsi! Sing it about Pepsi!
The line between like and love, you crossed it. Let the world know. Put your favorite team logo on your credit card, check card, and checks with MLB Banking. Only from Bank of America.
Tomorrow, guess who's serving a hot lunch?
What? Dad, no!
Oh, I'm big and yellow, and I'm serving Jello. Hey, big guy, give me some Jello.
An all-new Simpsons lunch special.
Don't worry, I won't embarrass you.
All new tomorrow at 8/7 Central on Fox.
And now we go beyond baseball with Tommy Lasorda, who was manager of the Dodgers for 21 years.
Nobody thought we could beat the team who won 104 games. Nobody believes it.
But he's also an ambassador to the game and is often asked to translate for the international players on his team.
He said Tom Lasorda is the finest manager he's ever played.
All joking aside, Tommy's work abroad, especially with Japanese players, has been so impactful that this past winter, Japan bestowed on him one of its highest honors.
I confer on behalf of the Japanese government a kunsho on Mr. Tommy Lasorda. Tommy Lasorda, since 1965, has been deeply involved in Japanese baseball.
For nearly half a century, Tommy has been the baseball bridge between the major leagues and Japan.
It started years ago, Dodgers training with the Tokyo Giants, and Tommy being the teacher that he is, it just was a natural fit because they were trying to learn the American game, and Tommy was the perfect teacher.
Now it is my honor to present Tommy Lasorda with the Order of the Rising Sun.
This is the biggest one. Outside of getting in the Hall of Fame, this is tremendous. To be honored by the Emperor of Japan, why, that's awesome. You look at the results, that's what it's all about.
One of the first results of Tommy's efforts was the signing of pitcher Hideo Nomo.
Say, I bleed Dodger blue. I was very impressed with Mr. Nomo when I met him. We're hoping and looking for him to be one of the starters on our pitching staff in 1995.
Tommy Lasorda is known to Japanese as a person who helped Nomo play in the major. Nomo is virtually the first Japanese baseball player who was really appreciated by the American people.
Hideo Nomo has pitched a no-hitter, and thank goodness they saw it in Japan.
Bringing in Hideo Nomo opened the gates to great players coming from Japan.
Just look around the game today to see what Tommy and Nomo made possible.
Beautiful pitching by Dice.
And many of these players are among the very best.
Swung on fly ball, deep right field. Goodbye baseball. Grand slam, home run, Ichiro.
We've seen how much the Japanese players have improved. And then it's all well worthwhile because of the time you spend with them, you work with them.
All that hard work paid off in the World Baseball Classic. And Tommy was there to see how far Japanese baseball has come.
I've seen these Japanese players over the years. They're not only good ball players, they're great people. And I congratulate them for the wonderful job they did in winning the Classic.
Japan has defended their World Baseball Classic title.
Twice now, Japan has proved its prowess on the world stage. And for that, they're quick to thank the man in Dodger blue.
When Tommy Lasorda first visited Japan in 1965, frankly speaking, the level of Japanese baseball was not as high as American major leagues. But thanks to Tommy Lasorda, gradually Japanese baseball improved its skill and capability so that now we can match American major leagues.
And now here's Twibia. Tommy Lasorda managed 61 postseason games, the third most in National League history. So we asked Dodger catcher Russell Martin, who managed the most NL postseason games: Bobby Cox, John McGraw, Walter Alston, or Tony La Russa. So what do you say, Russell?
My answer would be Bobby Cox from the Atlanta Braves, but I have no idea, so I'm just throwing it out there. Is that it? Is that the correct answer?
Dude, that's it. Bobby Cox managed 125 postseason games.
You know it.
And now we celebrate life on the road as Holiday Inn presents Winning Road Trips. No team in baseball this year has a longer winning streak on the road than the 6 straight posted by the Florida Marlins.
The Nationals cannot get these guys out in the 9th inning.
And the Florida Marlins, who swept the Atlanta Braves, now the second leg of a 3-city 9-game road trip, have swept the Nationals.
I can't believe it. I'm fine. I'm finally...
Whoa, okay, all right. Excuse me, give him some space, thank you.
Give him some room, give him some room.
Did anyone stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night?
I'm a doctor.
Did anyone stay?
Stay smart. Stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
Your car, we got it washed and ready to go.
Well, usually you rinse it too.
If you look at the sign, it says clearly car wash, not car wash and rinse.
If this isn't what to do, I can't wash my car at my house.
You can get spots on the car. How's it ready to go? If you go down any one of these streets as fast as possible, this stuff will fly off. People really need to make up their mind. You know, oh, I want a car wash. You know, we'll give you a car wash. You know, it's just not the rinse. You know.
Everything worth listening to is now on Sirius XM, the most commercial-free music. The best in talk, news, and entertainment. Every major sport. Everything you love, everything you want, and new things to discover on over 130 channels. Add the best of Sirius to your XM subscription or the best of XM to your Sirius subscription. Hear what over 35 million listeners can't get enough of. Sirius XM.
The story of Tim Lincecum begins in the backyard. Dad, son, and a pitcher's mound. Dad taught him that astonishing delivery by doing things like placing a dollar bill on the ground to make sure he'd follow through.
3-2 pitch.
Tim's followed through all right.
And Tim Lincecum gets it done.
It's no freak show. It's a story that just keeps getting better. This is beyond dedication. This is beyond baseball.
We're in Boston as the Yankees take on the Red Sox. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by DirecTV, today, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.
And now, Pepsi presents Fresh Faces. For the past 3 seasons, Orlando Hudson has been chatting it up at second base for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Jim, what's going on, big man? How you doing? What's going on, big dog? We're doing good, man. Another day in the big leagues, baby.
Well, now the man they call O-Dog is a fresh new face on the Dodgers, where he's still barking up a storm.
Oh, yeah, baby, go out there, have fun. That's all I can do, baby.
And just 8 games into the season, O-Dog put his name in the record books and won over the fans with his hustle.
And the O-Dog is loose. He is around second. He is on his way to third. The throw, he is in there. He has just hit for the cycle. An infield single, a home run, a double, and now the first cycle by a Dodger since 1970. What a way to join the Dodgers, and he gets a standing ovation.
It's a fresh new start for O-Dog, and the Dodgers are happy to have both his talent and his attitude in Dodger blue.
Proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
Not just for that, we're proud of you being who you are.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
People love you.
Appreciate it. I'm glad to be here, Mr. Lasorda. I'm glad y'all stuck with me and got me here. I tell you that. It's a dream come true. You know, I would have never thought, I'd be in Dodger Blue.
And on Jackie Robinson Day this month, Hudson was front and center.
No, I'll be throwing no cutters and all that.
I'm going to throw you a knuckleball.
No, come on, man. Throw a knuckleball.
Please welcome Mr. John Newcomb.
This is the home of Jackie Robinson Day. This is the way he's opened the doors for African Americans and other ethnic backgrounds across this country. They just made these for me for the Mr. Robinson Day today. Special shoes for a special day for a special man, huh? Oh, my goodness. Do it in front of a packed house for fans who understand the game. Let's go, baby. Let's do it. It's passionate about their Dodger blue, who love their Dodger. It means a lot. Nigga, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, how you doing?
What's going on, big man? How you doing, buddy? Doing great.
Hudson to face Matt Cain. One of the better young pitchers in the league. Orlando Hudson is 0 for 18 against him. And he probably slaps one by a diving Sandoval into left field.
My first hit off Cain. That's my first hit ever off him. He dominates me, man. I need to get the ball, huh?
He's a go-getter, day in, day out. He's playing hard. He's definitely the type of guy that is super energetic.
Give it again. You're all right. Battle back now. Let's go.
Curveball. Oh, what a dandy.
Oh, my goodness. Hit on. Wow. That was nasty, that, Angel. Oh, my goodness.
He's got a lot of life in him, and, he's 100 miles an hour.
Hudson bunts down along third, backhanded by Cain, who double clutches, and it's too late.
He talks 100 miles an hour. Everything he does is fast.
Hey, should I steal home plate right here? Behind you, Fugay!
He's one of the loudest people in the clubhouse, but he's one of the most positive people to be around.
Get that back, bro. Let boy, thanks, baby.
That's the way he is. He's not trying to be somebody he isn't. And, seeing him out there play, he wants to be out there. It's definitely fun.
Unbelievable, okay? Great game, guys. But hang in there, baby. Let's, baby.
And now, Gillette presents the Rookie of the Month. Each month, Gillette will honor the top rookies in both the American and National Leagues.
Welcome to the big leagues, big guy.
One of this month's candidates is Toronto pitcher Ricky Romero, who's undefeated in his first 3 starts.
Swing and a miss on a change. He struck him out.
Strike 3. Ooh, good pitch.
Man, he's been good. Very good. What a nice start to his career.
Our SiriusXM Call of the Week comes from the Bronx, where Melky Cabrera ended 14 innings and 5 hours of baseball.
Swings, that ball is high, middle's far, and it's gone! The Milkman delivers! He hits the bottom of the 14th, 1 out, 2-run, walk-off home run. The Yankees win! That's the Milky Way!
Basically, it's about symmetry.
I'm good.
Be honest here, man.
Fuck it.
I'm good.
My bad. I'm good.
I'm the man!
I'm good.
Ready? No.
Men can take anything.
I'm good.
Except the taste of Diet Cola. Until now, Pepsi Max, the first Diet Cola for men.
This is good.
Yes. Get in the game with Gillette Fusion. 5 blades space closer together with less irritation, even when shaving against the grain. Get Gillette's most comfortable shave, Fusion. Cheater. Surprisingly affordable for as low as $1 a week. Gillette, the best a man can get.
This year, Idol's never been better with inspiring performances.
This month is one of the most talented groups we've ever had on the show.
Emotional shout-outs that touched our hearts.
I'm coming home, baby.
It's down to the final 5. Be there because you never know what'll happen next.
I want to give you a standing ovation.
American Idol, Tuesday at 8/7 Central on Fox.
It affects every woman, but is never talked about.
I've never talked to my girlfriends about it.
Now we break the silence. Plus, how this machine can make you skinny on The Doctors.
Monday at 5 on Fox 18.
Next, 2.5 Men.
You're nervous about a date. I haven't gone out with a 40-year-old woman since high school.
Charlie's dating up.
Women that age have a lot of baggage. Right.
and you've just got to carry on.
Next, 2.5 Men. Monday at 6 on Fox 18.
This Week in Baseball continues as Chevy presents All-Star Classics. Earlier in the show, we got to see Tommy Lasorda being honored for his commitment to baseball in Japan. But Tommy's greatest passion is, and always will be, the Dodgers.
There isn't any person in this world who loves their job more than I do.
Have a good day. Come on. All have a good day.
Here I sit as the manager of the greatest organization in baseball.
And he shows that love in countless ways.
He's got to get out of the way. Yeah, but he's got it away in the goal. What do you think? I should just take him out or leave him in? All right, I'm going to take him in.
That's the way life is.
Tommy has represented the Dodgers at many All-Star games throughout the years. Most memorably, perhaps, as third base coach in 2001.
Bobby Valentine, the manager of the All-Star game, said, I want you to reenact your days as a coach.
That's the way to hustle, Penguin. Nice job.
Well, I was glad to get back out there.
But Tommy's trip back to his old coaching days was about to become a classic.
Shattered bat.
He hit the ball. As a third base coach, you got to keep your eye on the ball and the runner. All of a sudden, I turned, here comes this bat at me.
Catches Tommy Lasorda.
That bat just, it hit him, and it almost looked like it was chasing him.
Oh, head up, Tommy. It takes out the third base coach, Tommy Lasorda.
This whole big stadium, the bat came to me.
He got a 9-8, a 9-8, and a 9-7 from the judges for that rollover.
Why do I keep thinking Humpty Dumpty here?
He flipped over on his head, and I think I got a picture of that at home.
I'll never forget it. There was dead silence in that stadium. And then when I jumped up,
he pops right back up, and he's all right.
That's when they all gave me a standing ovation because they were so happy that I was okay.
Tommy's well respected and loved throughout the game. Everybody was trying to keep from laughing, but it was so funny that you couldn't help it.
Tommy Lasorda is taking it pretty good over there.
This is going to be an all-star game to remember for a lot of reasons.
How would you like a reason to be in this year's All-Star Game lineup? Well, you can. Just go to winanallstartrip.com and enter to win an MLB All-Star Weekend in St. Louis. That's winanallstartrip.com. Manny's also the star of our State Farm Big League Blast for leaving Minute Maid Park in a second.
2-0. There's a fly ball to left field. Manny has left the building. Oh, what a shot. It is out of the building. It is over the railroad tracks. It's onto the street. Manny Ramirez with a monstrous home run. What a shot by Manny Ramirez. Oh, doctor.
This Week in Baseball, presented by Pepsi, will be right back.
Pepsi's got another hit on their hands, and it's called Pepsi Throwback. Introducing Pepsi Throwback, made with natural sugar, only for a limited time. Sing it, baby.
Pepsi! Sing it out, Pepsi!
Ice cream. How you doing? Hello.
Look at all these different colors.
You want green?
Cool.
Thank you.
Ready?
There you go.
Oh, wait. There's no stick. The stick so they can hold on to the stick?
Do we have the sticks or? No. Yeah,
You just touched my money and you've touched this.
Yeah, but you can eat the part that you touched. You can eat it in the shade. It won't melt as fast.
Yeah, right. Thanks.
Bye.
Everyone thinks imports are the best cars for the money.
Well, everyone should know that Chevy Silverado, Traverse, and Malibu are all 2009 Consumers Digest Best Buys. How can everyone not know about this? And then there's the all-new Chevy Camaro. Everyone is going to want one of these. I think everyone's getting the hang of it. Introducing Chevy Total Confidence. No one covers you better. Not Ford, not Toyota, not anyone. Go to ChevyConfidence.com for program details.
Oh, you liking your salad?
This isn't a salad.
Sure it is.
Salads have lettuce. Where's the lettuce?
Check under the cheese.
No.
Under the chicken?
Not here.
Maybe under the rice.
Look under the beans.
So it's technically a salad.
Technically.
Introducing Taco Bell's new fully loaded taco salads, available in chicken ranch or chipotle steak. The only thing that makes it a salad is the lettuce.
You think she's into me? Technically?
No. Think outside the bun.
We'll take you out to Fenway to catch baseball's biggest rivalry as the Yankees square off with Beckett and the Red Sox. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by DirecTV, today, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.
And now, Taco Bell presents How About That? Set to the music of Mastodon.
I'm Mike, so if you have any big news for me, save it.
I can't say it, I'm Mike.
So do you watch the show? So do you watch it?
You got embarrassed last time on camera. My daddy showed you.
There you go, son. Take charge out there.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Here we go.
Grand slam. Nick Markakis. Manny 2 for 2. 2 home runs.
Oh my gosh.
What a play by Mr. Gold Glove!
They're gonna have the Gold Glove on the ring.
Look at that. Woo! I flew beyond the sun before it was time.
To center field.
Don't panic, don't panic.
Out goes Roberts. In comes Jones. Can't make the catch.
Panic, panic.
Oh, it gets over the left fielder.
Yeah!
I want you to make sure you got everything moving here, okay?
Oh, what a play. A beautiful diving snag.
Oh, what a grab!
Grab! See what happened? No. Stay in the park.
Mounted back and over the shoulder. Makes the catch against the fence.
Hands up, hands up, hands up!
To the track. Reaches up and takes a home run away.
Let's watch and observe.
14 runs on 13 hits.
Diving stop, Rayako. Flip to second.
How about that hook throw? How's the second baseman? Any good?
Diving snap, Pedroia. Drives to first, got him.
Caught by Jimmy Rollins.
Coming on is Nate McLeod. He dives and makes a sensational catch.
Strike 3 call.
Au revoir.
Hey, good morning. Good night.
Zach Greinke with his first career shutout.
Miller with a bare hand. Tremendous play by Tavares.
Clean. Hot.
Got a chance. Cubs win a home run. A Ramos Ramirez.
That ball is history. It's in the bleachers. A walk-off home run.
Dramatic fashion here in the ninth.
How about that?
That's an angry song.
This Week in Baseball has been sponsored by Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. By Bank of America, Gillette, Chevy, Holiday Inn, Sirius XM, State Farm, and by Taco Bell. We'll be on at a special time next week, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. Check your local listings. For This Week in Baseball, I'm Buzz Brainerd. So long, everybody. Be sure to watch This Week in Baseball at a special time next week.
Come on. Someone and built it. Oh, my God.
3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. Check your local listings.
Keeping Hollywood real. TMZ, weeknights at 9:30 on Fox 18. Power, agility, control. For whatever the road throws your way. The IS from Lexus. Lease the 2009 IS250 all-wheel drive for $349 a month for 36 months with $3549 due at signing at your Lexus dealer.
How does it feel to hear from someone you love? The unexpected call, silly text, or funny picture. And wouldn't it be great if it was free? Only U.S. Cellular gives you free incoming calls, texts, and pics anytime from anyone. So nearly half the time you spend on the phone is free. U.S. Cellular. Believe in something better.
let pain or injuries keep you from the life you love. From high school athletes to weekend warriors, more Quad City athletes put their trust in Team ORA. Call on Dr. Charles Castle or any of the 10 sports medicine specialists among our 22 skilled and caring physicians. ORA, excellent care, focused on you.
To the All-Star Game, the American League Championship Series, and the World Series. America's grand game is on Fox.
We are Fox Sports! The entire baseball world can't wait for these teams to head out there. You have got to be kidding.
The greatest rivalry in the history of baseball, the Cardinals and the Cubs.
Here we go. Baritek and A-Rod, as if this game needed any more emotion. Boom, hits it to deep left. The hero in Game 7. The biggest comeback in postseason baseball history. One of the fiercest rivalries in all of sports.
Welcome to the DirecTV pregame show on Fox. Follow your favorite MLB team no matter where you live with DirecTV. And if you had DirecTV last night, you saw a classic at Fenway. 2 down in the 9th. Man on for Jason Bay. Delivers off of Mariano Rivera. 12th blown save off of Rivera against the Sox, most against any one team. He hates that episode of Baywatch, and we are on to extras. We're in the 11th. Baseball's leading hitter, Kevin Youkilis. Looking more and more like John Malkovich's character, Cyrus in Con Air, with the game winner, and the Red Sox win it 5-4. So just a few hours later, the fans are back on this beautiful New England afternoon for this classic rivalry. Old friends down in Florida. A.J. Burnett and Josh Beckett going at it today. Beckett back from a 5-game suspension for throwing over the head of the Angels' Bobby Abreu. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Rivalry Saturday here on Fox. It's all presented by DirecTV. I'm Chris Rose, coming your way live from Fenway Park. Red Sox and Yankees, or the Cubs and Cards, coming your way in mere moments. But right now, at the top of the show, we're going to welcome in a guy that Boston fans want to see at the end of today's game. Let's get to know Red Sox all-star closer Jonathan Papelbon a little bit better. When did you realize Yankees-Red Sox was a different kind of series?
Day one, from the very beginning, no question about it. It's a passion that's driven by pure hatred.
Now, you went to Mississippi State as a first baseman. Which of your teammates could you definitely take deep over the Green Monster?
All of them.
Beckett?
Oh, Beckett, all of them.
You could touch Wakefield's knuckler?
I already told Wakefield that actually at spring training. He got a little off at me, but I'm an athlete, man.
You know, most people on their honeymoon, maybe they go to Hawaii, maybe they go to Europe. Where'd you go?
How did you know about this? I went to St. Lucia. It was actually a living hell.
You went to Disney World, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, Disney World, too.
Do you have the Mickey ears still?
Yeah. I still got them.
Let's be honest. How many rides could Pedroia get on without parental supervision?
I don't know. Isn't it like 56 inches, the height requirement?
And so?
Yeah, so probably 0.
And those fans back in New York that are awaiting your arrival for the first time at brand new Yankee Stadium, looking to the camera, what do you want to say to them?
Can't wait to see you guys.
Hey, New York fans, you don't have to wait to have Papelbon come to New York in order to see him. He's just a click away. Log on to foxsports.com for more of my interview with Jonathan Papelbon. And while you're there, you can read the works of Ken Rosenthal. Kenny, a lot of injury news for the Yankees. They put on the DL Cheng-Ming Wong and Brian Bruni, both pitchers, and A-Rod's replacement, Cody Ransom. What's the biggest injury of those three?
Bruni, Chris, and they're hoping that elbow will keep him down only 15 days. But without him, the Yankees lack a clear setup man. The good news is that Alex Rodriguez, remember him?
I do remember him.
Okay, he could be back in minor league games starting on Friday and could return by May 8th.
Injury news for the Cubs as well.
Yes, Carlos Marmol, MRI on his knee today, showed only a minor sprain. He could be out only a few days. Same goes for Aramis Ramirez and Milton Bradley. Both are available, but only to pinch hit. So what this means is that the Cubs right now do not have a backup infielder. We could see, if there's a double switch, Alfonso Soriano back at second base.
Look out below if that happens. Dr. Rosenthal, thank you very much. Continue to read your work on foxsports.com. Coming up next, Red Sox and Yankees. Sox going for their 9th straight win. Some of you will see Albert Pujols and the Cards take on Derek Lee and the Cubs. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by DirecTV. First pitch is next.
You're watching Major League Baseball on Fox.
Employee Pricing Plus Plus is in its final month at your Dodge dealer. You get our employee price, plus a $1,500 cash allowance, plus a no extra charge dual DVD system, which could all add up to over $6,000 in savings on a new Dodge Grand Caravan. Plus, well-qualified buyers get 0% financing, all on top of our best-in-the-business lifetime powertrain warranty, giving you even more value and peace of mind. See your Dodge dealer today.
It affects every woman, but is never talked about.
I've never talked to my girlfriends about it.
Now we break the silence. Plus, how this machine can make you skinny on The Doctors.
Monday at 5 on Fox 18.
Next, 2.5 Men.
You're nervous about a date. I haven't gone out with a 40-year-old woman since high school.
Charlie's dating up.
Women that age have a lot of baggage.
Right, and you've just got to carry on.
Next, 2.5 Men. Monday at 6 on Fox 18.
A gorgeous spring Saturday in St. Louis as Fox Saturday Baseball brings you one of the great rivalries in all of sports. Back-to-back weekends, the Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals. And hi again, everybody. Alongside Eric Karros, I'm Thom Brennaman. Welcome to Baseball on Fox. The St. Louis Cardinals racing out of the gate. They've won 12 of their first 17.
Well, you know, they led the National League in hitting last year. They're doing it again this year. That's why they're tied with the best record in the National League with the Dodgers. Albert Pujols is the man that's doing it, leading in all the top offensive categories. Tony La Russa calls him the perfect player. But it's not just because of the hitting. Made some nice defensive plays last night, stole a base to get into scoring position. It's a joy to watch this man play baseball.
Meanwhile, for the Cubs, a couple of key injuries we'll be talking about throughout the day that occurred last night. Manny Ramirez, their third baseman, and Carlos Marmol in their bullpen. Sean Marshall on the mound for the Cubbies today. Mitchell Boggs makes his first start of this season today. First pitch is next.
If you're like a lot of people, you have high blood pressure and you have high cholesterol. You've taken steps to try and lower both your numbers, but how close are you to your goals? There may be more you can do. Only Catawet combines two proven medicines in a single pill to significantly lower high blood pressure and high cholesterol. In a clinical study of patients with slightly elevated blood pressure and cholesterol, Catawet helped 48% reach both goals in just 4 weeks.
Catawit is one of many treatment options, in addition to diet and exercise, that you can discuss with your doctor. Catawit is not for everyone. It's not for people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. To check for liver problems, you need simple blood tests. Tell your doctor about any heart problems and all other medications you are taking, or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as they may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect.
How close are you to where you want to be? Ask your doctor if Catawit can help you go for both your goals.
The line between like and love? You crossed it. Let the world know. Put your favorite team logo on your credit card, check card, and checks with MLB Banking. Only from Bank of America.
Now the colors of life can last a lifetime. Valspar, the beauty goes on.
The story of Tim Lincecum begins in the backyard. Dad, son, and a pitcher's mound. Dad taught him that astonishing delivery by doing things like placing a dollar bill on the ground to make sure he'd follow through.
3-2 pitch.
Tim's followed through all right.
And Tim Lincecum gets it done.
It's no freak show. It's a story that just keeps getting better. This is beyond dedication. This is beyond baseball.
The
Cardinals have taken the field, set for Game 2 of this 3-game weekend series. Lou Piniella starting lineup brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Changes aplenty. It starts at the leadoff spot. Ryan Theriot at short. Kosuke Fukudome in right. Alfonso Soriano for a second straight game bats third, plays left. Derek Lee at first. Mike Fontenot for the injured Aramis Ramirez at third. Reed Johnson to start in center field, bats sixth. The latter third of Giovanni Soto, the former Cardinal Aaron Miles, and the left-hander Sean Marshall is on the mound. Starting at for St. Louis, pitching in his second game, making his first start, is right-hander Mitchell Boggs, a young man who's made his way up through the St. Louis system.
Yeah, you know, they liked him in spring training, but he was derailed by an injury and, you know, kind of fell off the depth chart. He had a nice outing the other day in relief. Tony said, hey, look, I'm going to give you the start today. He's got a pretty decent fastball. We'll see what happens.
Let's take a look at the defense behind Boggs. It'll be Colby Rasmus, the rookie in center field, flanked by Chris Duncan and Ryan Ludwig. Brian Barton, Khalil Green, Brendan Ryan, Albert Pujols third to first. Yadier Molina, just before the game, moments ago, in fact, received that Gold Glove award, which he earned last year. We remind you, as always, reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. And of course, Budweiser, based right here in St. Louis, Missouri. Nary a ticket to be had whenever these two teams get together. It doesn't matter where they are in the standings. Although you go back to the year 2000, and one of these two teams have won the National League Central Division every year. One year there was a tie, St. Louis and Houston. Swinging a foul ball out of play by Theriot for strike one, and this game is underway. Theriot developing into a rock-solid everyday player. He got his chance last season, you may remember. Hit over 300. Originally a third-round draft choice out of LSU back in 2001.
A scrappy ball player, much like Mike Fontenot, who's playing third, you know, both from LSU, but they're guys that are going to go out, grind every day, and give you 100%.
In the air, right center field. Backing up on it is Rasmus. And in front of the wall, he makes the catch for out number one. Lou Piniella, before the game today, Eric, you were down there trying to figure out what to do. Basically, his team enters the game today 3 players short. Milton Bradley is not healthy enough to play in the field. They'll use him to pinch hit. We'll get more into that story later. Aramis Ramirez injured his left calf last night. They're not going to put him on the disabled list. They figure he'll miss about 3 to 5 games and hopefully be ready by then. Kosuke Fukudome looks at ball one. They were very worried about reliever Carlos Marmol, who had to leave the game last night with a left knee injury. He underwent an MRI. They feared it was a meniscus tear. It is not. So the good news is they hope to have him back in the next couple of days.
Yeah, you know, and all 3 of those guys that you mentioned, Tommy, those aren't utility guys or a guy that's coming off the bench. Those are 3 impact players. And to take them out of the lineup really puts the Cubs at a disadvantage. You know, you talk about Aramis Ramirez. I mean, this is a guy that's been rock solid. 100 RBIs 6 times in his career. You know, Marmol has been a dominant pitcher the last 2 years. Get him out of there.
Going to be a tough play, and nicely done by the big fella Boggs, who takes it himself for the second out. Men in blue for this weekend series. Working behind the plate today is Scott Perry. Laz Diaz at first. Chuck Merriweather's been a long time the crew chief out at second, and Eric Cooper works at third. 5th time these two teams have met. Had a rain out last Sunday. The Cubs won 2 out of 3. And then the Cardinals even the season series with a victory here last night.
But you talk about the 5th time already these two have met. You know, looking at the schedule, 13 times they meet before the All-Star break. Only 3 times after. I mean, it just doesn't seem to make much sense. And, you know, these two teams will be battling at the very end of the year.
Alfonso Soriano, for the first time all season, was penciled in number 3 in the lineup here last night. Off to a good start is Soriano. .313 batter, 5 home runs and 9 runs batted in. Thought about it and laid off. He has an 11-game hit streak. and has at least one hit in 14 of his last 15 games. Two balls and a strike.
You talk about Soriano moving to that third spot. You see Derek Lee on deck. Well, Soriano hasn't hit there since May of '07. I mean, it's been at the top of that lineup, and that's where he's comfortable, in that top spot.
In the air, playable for Pujols and foul ground. Very windy day today, and it is caught in a perfect opening inning for balls. Pujols due up in the bottom of the first.
DirecTV is doing very well in customer satisfaction. What do we do?
I learned this in business school when I read about business school in a book. We can't improve our service, but we can improve the price. We can make it higher.
You know what? That's not a bad idea.
We'll get the people with disposable income, and they can dispose of it to us.
And they don't watch TV. They're workaholics.
They wouldn't know HD if they'd sat in their lap and called them mama.
Now you can save $21 a month for an entire year. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
We created Hyundai Assurance to offer up a little peace of mind. And for a limited time, we've even gone and added something extra. A plus, as in Hyundai Assurance Plus. If you lose your income, we'll make your payments for 3 months while you get back on your feet. And if you need help beyond that, you can still bring the car back. Plus, now get great deals on new Hyundai sedans. Hyundai Assurance Plus. It all adds up to a smart time to buy.
This Friday, the summer begins.
Time to go to work.
Rated PG-13. Friday only in theaters.
A scoreless first for Chicago. Here comes Tony La Russa's lineup, brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Brendan Ryan at second. Colby Rasmussen center. The amazing Albert Pujols is at first, batting third. Ryan Ludwig also off to a big-time start in right. Yadier Molina catching with Chris Duncan in left. A ladder third of the former Padres shortstop Khalil Green. Brian Barden at third. Mitchell Boggs on the mound. Left-hander Sean Marshall, 26 years old, hails from Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah, his second start of the season. He started last week against the Cardinals. Had a decent outing, 5 innings pitched, only allowed 7 hits. Talking to pitching coach Larry Rothschild of the Cubs, he said Marshall has got to be pitch efficient. He can't try to nibble. Trust his stuff. Go right after the hitters. When he nibbles, he gets behind, and when he's in a hitter's count, guys can tee off.
Alan Trammell, the right-hand man of manager Lou Piniella, former skipper of the Detroit Tigers, and many believe if he gets another chance, and that he will get another chance to manage one day with better talent, that he'll prove that he's a much better manager than that first go-round.
Well, talent always makes a manager look good or bad, I'll tell you that.
0-1 to Brendan Ryan. 7 hits in his first 23 at-bats with a couple of runs batted in. The Cardinals have just worn out the opposition in this ballpark. Certainly it helps when you're 12-5 to have 11 of the 17 at home. And the Cardinals have won 9 of those 11 games here at Busch Stadium. Swung on and fouled out of play. In fact, they're riding an 8-game home winning streak, their longest since 2004 when they ripped off 10 in a row. And they have outscored the opposition so far this season in this ballpark by a ton, including the 48-23 margin in the 8-game streak. Two and two to Brendan Ryan. Hit hard. Racing back Fukudome, and he will get it. Nicely done by the Cub right fielder.
Brendan Ryan does a nice job of going with the pitch. Typically left-handers to right-handed hitters will stay on the outside part of the plate. Kosuke Fukudome does a nice job of going back. That ball is hit over his head. It's not the line drive type, but it's the fly ball type. Those are difficult because you can't really get an angle. Does a nice job. Hey, you know, early on right now, ball looks like it's carrying in this heat.
Now the rookie, 22-year-old Colby Rasmus, takes inside and low for ball one. Tony La Russa has been juggling that outfield very much so at the very beginning of the year when even Ryan Ludwig wasn't playing every single game. But with Rasmus out there and of course Chris Duncan, we mentioned Ludwig along with Rick Ankiel. 4 players for 3 jobs. Ludwig, it appears, will indeed be there every day. So 3 players for the other 2 spots on the ground down to lead 2 away. Cubs defensively will play Johnson in center and move Fukudome over to right. Soriano, as usual, in left. Aaron Miles, a part of the 2006 Cardinal World Championship team, is at second today with Terrio at short. And again, Fontenot for the injured Ramirez.
And we talk about Ramirez just, not being there offensively, but defensively a great glove as well.
Look at the numbers for Albert Pujols. Pretty much like the numbers in his major league career. Just astonishing. 2 RBIs away from 1,000 already in his major league career. Just seems like yesterday he broke in.
And we always focus on what he does offensively, but I think La Russa hit it right on the head this week when he called him the perfect player, because it's not just the offense.
And what you talked about, Eric, last night in a tie game in the 8th inning, he gets a 1-out single. So what's he do? The best slugger in the game today, he steals second base. 3rd game in a row, by the way, he's stolen a base. Then what does he do? Scores what proves to be the winning run on a base hit by Ryan Ludwig. That's a winner.
Yeah, it really is. And that's what you talk about when you say the perfect player. He's not a one-dimensional guy. And does he have the greatest speed? No, but he picks his spots. He knows the situation. The scoreboard will dictate when he should run, when he shouldn't run. And really, there was no play on that ball, or that stolen base. Look at that. Look at that resume. Ridiculous.
Already a pair of MVP awards. He's won a batting title. As Eric mentioned, outstanding in the field now that he's settled in at first base. Has a World Series ring.
And looking at that, Tommy, right there, that's not even talking about what he's like in the community and what he does off the field, which is probably equally, if not more, impressive than those statistics. And that's what makes him, such an icon. He's a guy that comes around once every 40 or 50 years. And I think, seeing him and playing against him, you kind of take him for granted. But I think this generation getting to watch a player like Albert Pujols, appreciate him.
Two down, nobody on. A 2-2 count to Albert Pujols. Scoreless game, last of the first inning. And Marshall going to work. One hopper at Miles. Marshall answers Boggs with a perfect first inning.
Oh, you liking your salad?
This isn't a salad.
Sure it is.
Salads have lettuce. Where's the lettuce?
Check under the cheese.
No.
Under the chicken?
Not here.
Maybe under the rice.
Look under the beans.
So it's technically a salad.
Technically.
Introducing Taco Bell's new fully loaded taco salads, available in chicken ranch or chipotle steak. The only thing that makes it a salad is the lettuce.
You think she's into me?
Technically? No.
Think outside the bun.
So, what'd you think?
I like the car. Now, just show me the Carfax.
I've got something better than Carfax. I have a note from the previous owner. This car runs great. I promise.
Just show me the Carfax.
But it's a promise.
Carfax provides a vehicle history report so you could buy a used car with more confidence. Get it free at thousands of reputable dealers. Just say, show me the Carfax.
Here's Ryan getting ready to make his approach. To the men's room.
Looks like he needs to go urgently.
True. And there's Casey about to drive, also to the men's room.
He has been going over and over.
Now Wilson, 3rd time today. He's going a lot at night, too.
Yes, I'm afraid he thinks it's par for the course.
They ought to see their doctors.
Could be male urinary symptoms due to BPH and enlarged prostate.
For many guys, prescription Flomax reduces their urinary symptoms due to BPH in 1 week.
1 week.
Only your doctor can tell if you have BPH, not a more serious condition like prostate cancer.
Avoid driving or hazardous tasks for 12 hours after your first dose or increase in dose, as a sudden drop in blood pressure may occur, rarely resulting in fainting.
If considering cataract surgery, tell your eye surgeon you've taken Flomax. Common side effects are runny nose, dizziness, and decrease in semen.
Ask your doctor if Flomax is right for you.
And call 877-4FLOMAX to see if you qualify for up to $40 off new or refill prescriptions.
For many men, Flomax can make a difference in 1 week.
Fox Saturday Baseball presented by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. And sponsored by Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And by Carfax, free at your used car dealer. Just say, show me the Carfax. Stan the Man Musial. One of the many, many statues they have around this ballpark that, of course, will be home to Major League Baseball's All-Star Game right here on Fox in July this summer. I have a feeling it'll be a warm night for the All-Star Game, July the 14th.
I'm guessing you're probably right. You'll be in the air-conditioned booth if you can help it, I'll tell you. But hey, what a city to host the All-Star Game. I mean, one of the better baseball cities in the country.
Be the 5th time they've played the Midsummer Classic here in St. Louis. And the first one since 1966. Derek Lee had a good homestand where he hit over 300 following that miserable trip away from Wrigley to start the year. But overall, the numbers are still 210 with a home run and 9 batted in. Mitchell Boggs for the 2-2. Just missed.
You know, I talked to hitting coach Gerald Perry of the Cubs yesterday, and he acknowledged that Derek Lee is struggling, but he also said, he's hit some balls real hard as well. I said, watch him last night, lined out to third. There's Gerald.
Struck him out to begin the 2nd inning. Well, of course, last weekend we had the Cubs and the Cardinals here on Fox. It began last Thursday. Adam Wainwright, 6 strikeouts. Khalil Green, a game-tying home run in the 6th and a 7-4 St. Louis win. Then on Friday, Alfonso Soriano, a 2-run home run in the 8th to win it. And then Saturday, our game, a game-ending home run in the 11th by Aramis Ramirez. The Sunday night game was rained out. Old childhood pals growing up on the west side of Tampa, Florida. Lou Piniella and Tony La Russa. Lou was telling the story before the game today. He said, Tony's a couple of years younger than me. We played on the same American Legion team. Tony was a shortstop. I was a left fielder. Tony hit 2nd in the lineup. I hit 3rd in the lineup. There's a fly ball into short center, playable for Rasmus. 2 away. He said Tony got $100,000 as a signing bonus when drafted. Lou went on to play a couple of years in college, and Lou said, when Tony got that contract, I said to myself, I'm going to be a rich man real soon, because if he got 100, I'm hitting 3rd. I got to do better than that. He said he went and played a couple of years in college. He got $25,000, which then was a lot of money. Still is a lot of money, but he said not anywhere close to Tony.
I think Lou made up for it in the playing career, though. He had a few more years than Tony in the bigs.
Yes, he did. Lou, the skipper of the Cubbies, back-to-back seasons. They've won the National League Central Division Championship, won 97 games a year ago. But having said all that, last year they became just the 2nd team in Major League history to win back-to-back division titles, but not get a single win in the playoffs. Swept by Arizona 2 years ago, by the Dodgers last year. Johnson, a one-hopper to short, will end the inning. 6 up, 6 down for Marshall. Ryan Ludwig to start things in the Cardinals 7th.
It's a perfect day for baseball.
2 outs, last of the ninth.
With one swing, he could win the game.
He winds and fires.
And there's a long drive to deep right.
It goes back.
Holy cow!
As long as there's been the great American pastime, there's been the great American lager.
I don't believe what I just saw!
Budweiser, since 1876.
Why let heartburn stop you when you can stop heartburn? Just one Zantac with a cool mint sensation can knock it out all day or all night for strong, lasting relief. Heartburn? Attack it. Zantac.
Get your hot dog, 50 cents. You want 2 hot dogs?
Yeah.
You got it. There you go, miss. Enjoy.
What about the bun?
I'm not a bun salesman.
The bun.
No, I sell hot dogs.
Hot dogs have a bun.
Hot dog, that's a hot dog.
That's a wiener.
I sell what I say. Hot dogs.
And it's watered
You have to shake that up a little bit. Have a nice day. Don't forget to tell your friends.
I'm not gonna tell them. This watered down too.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
It's too bad your vehicle's warning signs aren't this easy to spot. Fortunately, though, there are Napa Auto Care Centers where professional technicians will give your vehicle the preventive maintenance it needs to improve your gas mileage and possibly avoid major problems down the road. Napa, get the good stuff.
I like square butts and I cannot lie. Squid and sea star can't deny. When a sponge walks in, 4 corners in his pants like he got phone book implants, the crowd shouts. All the ladies stare. And those pants are square.
Buy an adult value meal and get a kid's meal for 99 cents.
Fox Saturday Baseball presented by DirecTV is sponsored by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. Bottom of his second inning, Ryan Ludwig to lead it off, and were it not for the man who bats in front of him in the Cardinal lineup, Ludwig might be the guy everybody's talking about in baseball right now. I mean, he's hitting 9 points higher than Pujols. He has 1 less home run and only 2 fewer RBIs. 0-2.
And that's coming off a monster year. 37 home runs, 113 RBIs. A Silver Slugger Award winner, which goes to the best offensive player at his position. You know, and this is a guy a year before. You see, take a look at that side swing. Not much rotation. Right off the back part of the calf. You know, as a hitter right now, that's stinging, it's smart. You're thinking, oh man, I got to get back in the box right now. And as a pitcher, you're going right back, low and in right now, because you know that hitter is conscious of just hitting one off his foot.
Struck him out.
You know, Ludwig probably thinking he's coming back in. Marshall with an off-speed pitch out over the plate. Like I said, as a hitter there, you know, you're just not focused 100% on hitting that ball. You're barking a little bit, and, you know, ideally you like that pitcher to throw a ball or two to extend the at-bat. Didn't happen.
Yadier Molina off to a good start as well. Grounded foul. Well, you look up and down his Cardinal lineup, and you mentioned earlier their offense. I mean, now you know these guys aren't going to do it all year long like they're doing it now. Because, I mean, these are gaudy numbers. 310 for Rasmus, 355 Pujols, 364 Ludwig, 340 Molina, 315 Duncan. There aren't many holes right now. That one lined right at Pucadome for the second out of the inning.
No, and you said they're not going to do it at that level, but remember, they led the National League in hitting last year. I mean, this is a group that, it's a very competitive group. It might not have the household names, but Tony La Russa has created an environment where you go out and play because you don't know if you're going to be in the lineup the next day. And that has worked very well for this ball club.
I don't think you can say enough about what Tony La Russa has done as a manager since leaving Oakland and coming here to St. Louis. It's just astounding. Last year, as it's ball one to Chris Duncan, for those that watch that Cardinal team, more than a series here, more than a series there. If you saw them with any regularity at all, and all the injuries they had in the rotation with Wainwright and Carpenter and in the problems in the bullpen, For that team to win 86 games was nothing shy of a miracle.
Well, it's as we go back, it's the environment that Tony creates. I mean, you can crunch numbers, you can look at statistics, but what you can't do is quantify or measure what things, what it's like to come to the park and I don't know if I'm going to be in that lineup or not. Those things impact a player and impact a player's performance. And Tony, again, last year, probably his best job at doing that is doing it again this year, as you mentioned earlier, the 4 outfielders, 3 spots. I mean, that's the sort of stuff a manager, needs to deserve all kinds of credit for.
A 4-pitch walk after 2 are out to Duncan. Will keep the inning alive for Khalil Green. Now there's starting rotation, the Cardinals. Both of these teams, in fact, have gotten outstanding starting pitching. You look at Wainwright, back from the injury, rock solid. Kyle Lowe's just given a big contract in the offseason. Wellmeyer slow to get started, coming off a career year. Pinheiro healthy again, and Boggs his first start, second game today. The bullpen is very much a question, however, for this Cardinal team.
Well, it is, and you just mentioned those pitchers, the starters and the starting staff doing well. You look at most of those guys coming from other organizations. And I think the one constant, obviously, is Dave Duncan, the pitching coach. And you talk about, again, we just talked about Tony La Russa, you talk about Dave Duncan. I mean, these two guys have as much of an impact on their respective team as anybody in the game. And really what those guys have done, what they've done out in the bullpen, I mean, you don't have the name guy, but they're getting the job done at this point. But I'm not so sure it happens with other people leading these guys. That's where you can't measure La Russa and Duncan and what they do.
Khalil Green came over during the offseason from San Diego. Breaking ball down and in, played nicely by Soto to keep the runner at first, Chris Duncan. Khalil Green, his entire career, played in unquestionably the biggest ballpark, toughest ballpark to hit home runs in all of Major League Baseball, Petco Park out there in San Diego. And yet he still hit a pile of home runs, 84 of them over the last 5 years. Grounded down to third, and that'll end the inning. A man left, end of 2, no score in St. Louis. Back after a word from your local Fox station.
You're watching Major League Baseball on Fox.
You want Lincoln MKXs? We've got them. You want Lincoln MKSs? We've got them. Mercury Grand Marquis? We've got them. Mercury Milans, Mariners, Sables? We've got them. We've got the largest new Lincoln Mercury selection between Chicago and Des Moines. Don't buy till you give Maple Leaf a try. Nobody sells for less. Nobody.
Try 20, save plenty. Maple Leaf, Geneseo.
Every day, more shoppers are discovering that they can get more for their money at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. We appreciate your business as we continue to work hard at keeping our prices low on the name brand products that you know and trust. Right now, save on an 1800 PSI electric power washer from Fate. It's $139.99. The Guardian 16 kilowatt generator is $36.89. And pick up an 8-pack of Moonray solar lights, now just $19.99. Get more and spend less at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Spend just $1 on breakfast at McDonald's and save the rest for something else. Now get a hot and savory sausage McMuffin or sausage biscuit for only $1 each, and only at McDonald's.
Hi, I'm Brian Buck with the Quad Cities River Bandits, farm affiliate of the St. Louis Cardinals, and you can catch the Redbirds right here on the Quad Cities CW.
Every day, we're on every day now.
Catch America's #1 comedy every day.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday.
Every day, we're on
5 nights a week. It's 2.5 Men.
Weeknights at 6 on Fox 18. The doctors are in. Weekdays at 5 on Fox 18.
Welcome back to Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by DirecTV. Follow your favorite Major League team no matter where you live with DirecTV. 6 up, 6 down for Mitchell Boggs, a Cardinal right-hander, makes his second appearance, his first start of this 2009 season, and he faces last year's National League Rookie of the Year to start the inning, Giovanni Soto. Soto off to a very slow start. He's had a bothersome shoulder, which kept him out of the lineup for almost a week. Only 4 hits in his first 32 at bats.
And he's a guy that they count on because he hits near the bottom of the lineup. And he's able to turn that lineup over, provide power, and he was especially helpful last year, providing that punch. Soriano at the top. But you know what's going to be interesting, Tommy, is last year Mark DeRosa was on this ball club, and they were able to put him in the lineup. He provided the pop. You could give Soto a day off here and there. You could rest him. But this year right now, you know, it's early on. You know, they don't have that pop off the bench that they're going to be able to put out there. And to take a guy like Soto out of the lineup, you know, I don't know if he gets the rest like he did last year.
You and I were talking about that move made by the Cubs before the game today. And, you know, really it comes down to, and you can call it whatever you want and you can break it down whatever you want, but basically they made the decision to bring in Milton Bradley as a left-handed batter. And by bringing on that payroll, they had to move some payroll, and that was Mark DeRosa.
Well, there ain't no question about it. There were a number of variables, and as you mentioned, they had to move some payroll. They wanted a left-handed bat, especially after being swept by the Dodgers in the division series, where the Dodgers did not use one left-handed pitcher the entire series. You know, they just felt they were too right-handed hitting dominant. So they go out, they get Milton Bradley. DeRosa had to go.
DeRosa hit 21 home runs, knocked in 87 runs last year for Lou Piniella's Central Division champions. Of course, now with Cleveland. Jam shot, foul ball out of play.
Well, again, you just don't see that pop off of the bench. I mean, he wasn't the everyday guy as far as, hey, he's the second base. He'd spell the outfield, he'd spell the infield. You know, and that luxury not being there, I mean, that's going to tie Lou Piniella's hands this year.
3-2 the count. Knocked down on a liner right back to the mound. Nice play by Boggs for the first out here in the 3rd inning. Time now for a DirecTV game break in Cincinnati. Reds off to a good start this year, but not today. Chipper Jones with 2 aboard. A 3-run home run, 410 career home runs for Chipper. And the Braves win back-to-back games in Cincinnati. That Reds team coming off a 7-3 10-game road trip, including winning the final 2 games of that series this week in Chicago. Follow your favorite Major League team no matter where you live with DirecTV. And for more information on the Reds and Braves and the Cubs and Cardinals and anything else in sports, go to MLB.com or FoxSports.com.
You know, we were just talking about Chipper Jones, and it just seemed like yesterday he was a young guy coming up. I mean, what a great career he's had, Hall of Fame career.
You know, I don't know if you feel this way, Eric. I'm curious to get your opinion because you know you live out west, and I was out west for a long time, and now back in the Midwest. Even though Chipper Jones has been with a high-profile organization, he's had a Hall of Fame career, there's a guy that I think a lot of people have not appreciated his career. Because you're right, it has been a great career.
Well, I'll tell you this, as a former player, absolutely I appreciate his career. I know what he's done. I followed his career. I played against. As a fan, though, you're absolutely right. I mean, I don't know if.
Base hit by Aaron Miles.
I don't know if people really, you know, appreciate what he's done, what he's accomplished. I mean, 3rd all-time as a switch hitter at home runs, behind only Mickey Mantle and Eddie Murray. I mean, a staple of that Braves franchise. Great player.
First base runner of the game for the Cubs. A 1-out single here in the 3rd by Aaron Miles. And now the pitcher Sean Marshall, 0 for 2 as a batter this young season. Marshall took one right down the middle after squaring the bunt. Strike one. Well, what a great rivalry this is. These two teams just across the river, the state of Illinois, the state of Missouri from one another. They've been playing against each other since 1876. We talked about it last weekend. Once you get about halfway down from Chicago downstate in Illinois, all of a sudden a lot of the fans, they live a lot closer to St. Louis, and there are a lot of Cardinal fans on the other side of the river. Popped up, caught by Pujols for the second out. Time out for our Bank of America fan cam. Want to show the world it's not like it's love. Get MLB banking only from Bank of America. And of course, we asked the question last weekend. You know, when you see a guy wearing a Cubs jersey, a girl wearing a Cardinal jersey, how does that relationship work?
Well, you know, it's interesting because you talk about the baseball rivalries, and I would, you know, the three that come to mind, this one, the Red Sox, Yankees, and the Dodgers, Giants. But what separates the Cardinal Cubs, there isn't that nastiness that you have in some of the other rivalries. You know, you get a little eventful in the stands. I remember playing in that Giant Dodger rivalry. I mean, if you wore Dodger gear as a fan in Candlestick, you might be going home with a black eye. I mean, it just, you don't have that here though with the Cubs Cardinals, and that's, you know, I really come to appreciate. I had an opportunity to play in it in 2003, and it's a great atmosphere.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you know, really, it's so reflective in so many ways of really this part of the country.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you're in the Midwest, and the fans seem to, by and large, get along pretty well. Popped up. Is it playable for Molina? Yes, it is. And the inning is over. One hit, one left, middle of the third. A scoreless game at Busch Stadium.
Absolutely my favorite fried chicken.
It's fried.
Fried?
It's grilled.
Kentucky grilled chicken. Grilled, grilled, grilled.
Mmm. Change is good.
Oh man, don't be eyeing my bucket.
You've got to taste new Kentucky Grilled Chicken. It's marinated and grilled to perfection for that 5-star fall off the bone taste you just gotta come in and try. Now try new Kentucky Grilled Chicken in a 2-piece meal for just $3.99. Tasty on fried side of KFC.
This is Gianpaolo. He told us he wanted a laptop with
portability, battery life, and power.
For under $1,500. We told him, you find it, you keep it.
This is so sexy. But Macs to me are about aesthetics more than they are the computing power. This keyboard is small, but that thing is gigantic. It's got 4 gigs of RAM. It's got the processing speed that I need. This laptop has got everything I want.
Nice work, G. It's a PC.
My budget was $1,500. This computer will do everything that I need. I'm a PC because I'm really picky.
Pepsi's got another hit on their hands, and it's called Pepsi Throwback. Introducing Pepsi Throwback, made with natural sugar, only for a limited time. Sing it, baby. Pepsi! Sing it about Pepsi!
To stay on top of my game after 50, I switched to a complete multivitamin with more. Only one a day men's 50+ advantage has ginkgo for memory and concentration, plus support for prostate and heart health. That's a great call.
One a day men's.
Fox Monday.
2 things I do well. Bachelor parties rank towards the top.
It's the wildest house of the year.
You still haven't slept?
And then I have a clever response.
All new house, then.
This threat is not over.
A man with only hours left to live.
You don't have to worry about Jack Bauer. He's not gonna be a problem.
Is a man with absolutely nothing left to lose.
I want the names!
All new 24 after House. It all starts Monday at 8/7 Central on Fox.
Cardinals come to bat last of the third inning at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. No score. Mitchell Boggs and Sean Marshall going head to head in game 2 of this 3-game weekend series. Brian Barton getting the start again at third base. He had a couple of home runs in a series last week in Chicago. Barden, the former Arizona Diamondbacks farmhand, there just wasn't any room on their big league roster for him, despite the fact that he certainly had played well enough at the minor league level to get a big league shot. And the Cardinals, with injured Troy Gloss out, Lord knows how long that's going to be with a bothersome shoulder. They've had to try to patch things together and done a nice job with Barden and Joe Thurston and Brendan Ryan, getting good production down there.
Well, you talk about those guys that they brought in. Joe Thurston had a big hit last night, a left-handed hitter, driven in a few runs. It was a huge Dodger prospect a few years ago.
There's a bleeder in the right. It'll fall in a hit. Barden making a hard turn. He'll stop right there. So the leadoff man aboard with a pitcher coming up. We caught up with Lou Piniella in between innings. And first things first, an update on both Aramis Ramirez and Carlos Marmol, skipper.
Marmol will be 2 or 3 days. Ramirez, we hope 3 to 4.
Status of Milton Bradley, is that a day-to-day? What do we got going?
Whenever he's ready to play, he's ready to play.
Lou, right now with your ball club, obviously a tough week to end that last homestand against the Reds. What's kind of the frame of mind of the team right now? Do you sense they're down at all?
Well, we haven't been hitting very well, Tommy. It's been a struggle for us to score runs, especially when we get people in scoring position. We're going to get better at it, but let's hope it's soon.
Thanks for the time, skipper. Best of luck.
Yes, sir.
It's got to be very frustrating for Lou Piniella after a successful sacrifice by Boggs. You know, we brought up earlier, not only is Ramirez unavailable, they're carrying 12 pitchers. So now your bench guys and your position players become very critical, especially in National League Baseball. And you don't have Ramirez available. Milton Bradley, every time you use him as a pinch hitter, you have to use 2 players because he can't play defense. I mean, your hands are really tied right now.
From a maneuverability standpoint, I mean, Lou's just throwing out his guys and saying, go get him.
Brendan Ryan down a strike. We asked him, okay, well, you're starting Fontenot at third, Terrio at short, Mills at second. What do you do? Miles at second. He said, my backup infielders are Alfonso Soriano, and he hadn't played second base forever, and Coy Hill, the backup catcher, would be their backup third baseman. Good breaking ball there to Brendan Ryan. 0-2. Cardinals have been dynamite in these positions, hitting with runners in scoring positions so far this year. As a team, the National League's leading club at .322. And 2 to Brendan Ryan. Ryan Barden at second base, and a breaking ball, a strike 3 call. Well, Fox Sports is proud to support the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's research. The Michael J. Fox Foundation dedicated to finding a cure for Parkinson's through an aggressive research program. And to learn more, visit michaeljfox.org. And of course, Eric, the great support that's been given by so many at home to the Michael J. Fox Foundation.
You know, another great effort by Fox Sports. I mean, tying in the respective sports with the charity, bringing awareness, visibility, and we're fortunate enough to be affiliated with the Michael J. Fox Foundation.
For those of you who don't know about Fox Sports supports, as Eric mentioned, every sport that we're fortunate to broadcast here on the Fox network, whether it be the BCS, NASCAR, the NFL, or Major League Baseball, we vote on a charity to support during that sports year. And we understand that thanks to so many of you who watch Fox Sports, all 4 of our voted upon charities have really done very, very well in their respective fights. So thank you at home. Two and 0 to Colby Rasmus. No score in the game. 2 out. And that may change. Base hit into right field. They're going to hold the runner as Fukudome got it on one bounce and fired in quickly at the last second. Jose Oquendo throwing up the stop sign.
Well, as Tony La Russa has stated, every time Colby Rasmus gets an opportunity to play, he comes out and produces. Hits an absolute shot to Fukudome out and right. And you see him rounding first. He's thinking there's going to be a throw, so he's running around first and going to go to second, hoping that the first baseman will cut the ball and then allow the runner to continue on to home. But Jose Oquendo over at third base decided to hold the runner. He can stand back and driving the ball to right field. Now you see, watch him run around the base here. Here he's going to go. He sees that the runner's being held, so he stops. He continues on. First baseman may cut the throw, allowing the runner to score.
Of course, he might have seen out of the corner of his eye who was coming up.
Is that guy good?
Strike one, Albert Pujols on the inside corner. He has something to say to Scott Berry, the home plate umpire. Look at those numbers for Pujols this year. Runners in scoring position. 429.
Well, and that's why Jose Oquendo holds Brian Barden at third. You've got a hitter like this. If somebody else in the lineup is coming to the plate, maybe you test Fukudome and see if they can make that play at the plate.
That's a good looking curveball.
Well, Marshall has established that curveball today. He's throwing it for strikes, has excellent bite, and very easy for a right-handed hitter to give up on that high curveball that starts outside or off of the plate. Got to stick with it because, again, because of the bite, it's coming right over that outside part.
Now, what do you suppose Giovanni Soto is talking with Sean Marshall about here? He's ahead 0-2 with 2 on and 2 men out.
He's telling him you don't give him anything to hit. You don't throw anything over the plate, not even an inch off of the plate. Throw something a couple inches off. See if Pujols is going to be aggressive, because who cares if it's 0-2 or 1-2, but don't throw anything that Pujols can hit.
Runners are on the corners with 2 away. 0-2 on Albert Pujols. In the air, right field. Fukudome nearly misjudged it and was able to race back to the track, and he says, "Ooh." Inning is over. Cardinals strand 2. Still no score.
It's back. Applebee's 2 for $20 menu.
It takes 2, baby.
Choose 1 awesome appetizer and 2 of your favorite entrees, like our juicy 7-ounce sirloin or our signature Fiesta Lime Chicken, all for just $20. 1 app, 2 entrees, $20. So grab a 20 and a friend, because it's for 2. The 2 for $20 menu for a limited time only.
It takes 2.
Only at Applebee's. It's a whole new neighborhood.
We introduced Hyundai Assurance to let people know we're all in this together, which is why for a limited time, we're now offering Hyundai Assurance Plus. If you lose your income, you can hold on to your car and we'll make your payments for 3 months. And if that's not enough time to work things out, you can still bring the car back with no impact on your credit. Plus now get great deals on new Hyundai CUVs. Hyundai Assurance Plus. It all adds up to a smart time to buy.
I'm not done yet. No matter how hard I train.
How long I train.
Or when I train. I'm not done until I finish it with EAS Mileplex. Taken within 30 minutes after my workout, the high-quality protein in Mileplex helps me refuel and build lean muscle. That way, I don't waste my workout. Now we're done. For a free sample, go to EAS.com.
Now the colors of life can last a lifetime. Valspar, the beauty goes on.
Fox Saturday Baseball presented by DirecTV, sponsored by Valspar Paint. Valspar, the beauty goes on. By Applebee's, it's a whole new neighborhood. And by Hyundai Assurance Plus, because in times like these, we're all in this together. Welcome back to downtown St. Louis, Missouri, gateway to the West. And no score in the ball game. Cubs bat here in the top of the 4th inning against Mitchell Boggs. No runs, 2 hits, 3 left for St. Louis. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left for Chicago. Fukudome bounced out to Albert Pujols. But Pujols cut off as Boggs stepped in front of him to snatch it and beat Fukudome to the bag back in the opening inning. To bring you up to speed on what's happening at Fenway Park. Game 2 of that 3-game weekend series. Another pretty fair rivalry there. The Yankees and the Red Sox. Boston winning in extra inning last night on a home run by Kevin Youkilis. Served into left field, a base hit for Fukudome. So he's aboard to begin the Cubs' 4th inning. Time now for that DirecTV game break. And in the opening inning, Josh Beckett on the mound. Jorge Posada into short left field. It drops in for a base hit. Scoring Mark Teixeira. Yankees out running with a 2-0 lead in the 3rd inning, and now it's 4-0 New York. Follow your favorite major league team no matter where you live with DirecTV.
You know, right now, I think this is going to be the interesting move. Soriano in the 3rd spot. Because if he can produce, it allows Lou to do a number of other things. But right now, you know, you just have to wonder about the mentality of Soriano if he wants to hit in that spot. I mean, he's very comfortable. He said that he'll do whatever is needed for the team. But there's no doubt he loves to hit leadoff. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what your physical ability is. If mentally you're not there, you know, it's a tough transition. I mean, he'll say he'll go do it, but, you know, if your heart's not into it, it's tough to be successful at this level.
And Cub fans certainly remember a similar dilemma in the late 80s, especially during the 1990s, with second baseman Hall of Famer Ryne Sandberg. Sandberg was a guy that you really wanted to have bat 3rd in your lineup. And Soriano has gone on 3 straight pitches. Second strikeout of the game for Mitchell Boggs.
Yeah, we'll take a look at this. This is a breaking ball that's just out over the plate. I mean, it's not even a strike. You see Soriano just wave at it. Molina doing a nice job of getting down. You see Soriano committing, flying out with his hips. All he has left is just a flail-like swing.
Breaking ball, strike 1 to Derek Lee. And, you know, to finish that thought about Sandberg, I mean, here was a guy that was hitting you anywhere from 25 to 40 home runs a year, batting in the 2-hole. And you had Mark Grace, who was more of a ideal sort of number 2 hitter, batting in that 3 spot. There's a fly ball on the right, and that'll be the 2nd out of the inning. But Sandberg just felt more comfortable batting in the 2-hole. But for the betterment of the team, many felt that were around the Cubs at the time, me being one of them, was that, you know, this is a move that's got to be flip-flopped here, and it just didn't happen.
Well, again, because we as fans or media, we think that it should be something other than it is. Well, the reality is, if Sandberg in that situation isn't going to hit 3rd or doesn't want to hit 3rd, you're probably not going to get the same type of production. So then he becomes a different player. Soriano moving to the 3rd spot, well, that'd be great if he's going to give you the 35, 40 home runs and do all those things. But in that spot, he just hasn't done it. So it doesn't do any good. I mean, it's just like it drives me nuts when a player is playing for a certain club, doesn't produce, goes somewhere else and produces, and they say, oh, geez, you shouldn't have traded him. Well, the bottom line is he couldn't play for that club. So he goes somewhere else, produces there, and it's just like the hitting in a certain spot. He hits great in the first spot. That's where he hits great. Just because he hits great in the first spot doesn't mean he's going to hit great in the third spot.
Fugedome, a leadoff single, but then outs by Soriano and Lee, followed by a base hit from Fontenot into center. So the Cubs have 2 on with 2 out. I want to remind you this Monday, April the 27th, day after tomorrow, you can try a free piece of the new Kentucky grilled chicken all day long, absolutely free. Taste the unfried side of KFC. For a lean man like yourself, it's probably right up your alley.
Well, what's up my alley is I'm going to take everybody I know to KFC that day because it's free. So it's on me, man.
Big spender, Eric Karros. Always have been. Now Reed Johnson looks at a breaking ball low and away. First threat of the game for the Cubs against Mitchell Boggs. You heard Lou Piniella mentioned earlier, this team has been woeful hitting with runners in scoring position. Only .222 as a team this season. It's been a lot worse than that this week. Now, Cincinnati looks to be one of the better pitching teams in the National League this year. I mean, they came in and just completely shut down this Cub offense. Johnny Cueto and Aaron Harang in the final 2 games of that series, and then the Cubs held to just 3 runs in the game last night. Two and one to Johnson, a fastball on the outside edge.
You know, I think it's interesting, though, just as hot as the Cardinals have been, you know, the Cubs have been cold. And we can take snippets a week here, a week there out of the season, and we can make a club look great. They can look terrible. And we have to remember, this is a long haul. And I take this Cubs team any day of the week. You know, you give me the guys that they have, you know, I'd love to manage them.
Oh, wow. That's just bad luck right there for Reed Johnson. Hit the ball right on the nose, but right in the glove.
We all got a choice, son. Now mine got taken. But that won't ever happen again.
Become the animal that you will have your revenge.
I'm coming for you. No law. No code of conduct. The animal. You got it.
X-Men Origins Wolverine. Rated PG-13.
Hey. Ready to go.
Dude. Drag? Nacho drag. Well, we can get nachos at the game, man.
Yeah, okay, for like $6. I've got 3, 5, and 7-layer nachos, all for less than $1. Got a Taco Bell.
You wearing makeup?
Don't judge me.
3 incredible nachos, 3 incredible prices. Only $79, $89, and 99 cents at Taco Bell. Why pay more?
You can spike one. You can ride one. You can catch one. But it's still not summer until you open one. Bud Light Lime. Superior drinkability. Ultimate refreshment. A splash of 100% natural lime flavor. One taste and you'll find the summer state of mind. Bud Light Lime.
Emmett, your gray facial hair has put you in a rocking chair.
Your beard is weird.
Just for Men Gel.
Gets rid of gray in 5 easy minutes.
His edge is back. He scores! Just for Men. Keep your edge.
His parents were among those who marched for civil rights in 1963. Ryan Howard knows the meaning of strength. His parents taught him how to use it. You can see it in his eyes. And you witnessed it when he lifted that trophy This is beyond inspiration. This is beyond baseball.
Bottom of the 4th inning, still no score. Both of these pitchers were slotted into the number 5 spots in each club's starting rotation. So far, aces today. Strike 1 to Ryan Ludwig. Cubs with 3 hits, Cardinals with 2. Each team has left 3 men on base. Each team has threatened once to score. 1-1 to Ludwig. His first at bat did not last long.
No, I had 3 pitches and right on out of there. I mean, so far he's seen 5 pitches. 4 of them have been strikes. Nothing really good to hit yet.
Drives that ball to left center field. Johnson over to cut it off, but Ludwig will come standing up with a leadoff double.
Well, Ryan Ludwig showing why he came into this game hitting .360. Now, this pitch is a hitter's pitch. It's right down the middle, something that he can drive. And really, that's the first pitch that Marshall has made to Ludwig. That wasn't a pitcher's pitch. I mean, that first at-bat, right on the corner, good curveball. Even this at-bat, the first pitch, outside curveball. But that was something Ludwig can handle. Boom, into left center.
Yadier Molina. Now, we saw him last weekend in a similar situation, asked to bunt. It was later in the game, and swings it away at the first pitch here.
Yeah, and you see the way he approached that. He's definitely trying to go to the right side to move the runner over. Get Ludwig to third, trying to stay inside the ball. I mean, stay inside the ball. The hands stay inside the baseball, trying to hit it to second base or first base. You know, but that's what this team is about. You know, everybody pulling for one another, sacrificing the individual accolades.
There you see another inside out swing, fouled off to the first base side.
Now, as a hitter right now, ideally you'd like to continue to try to go to the right side, but what I do is, look, I'm just looking for something to hit hard. If I can get something to drive the other way, or the count changes after a few pitches, but 0-2 right now, I'm just up there. I'm trying to, if he busts me inside and I can yank it, I'm going to yank it.
They were set up inside, and the pitch misses high. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yadier Molina. Ludwig leads at second with nobody out. Served into center field. It'll fall in, a base hit. They're going to hold the runner at third. Ludwig nearly ran through the stop sign and has to slide back into third after a big turn. That's good hitting by Molina.
That's not good. That's great. I mean, he went to an 0-2 count, was behind 1-2, and you still see just trying to punch the ball to the other side, not worried about trying to drive it or anything. Again, not worried about making it out. And because he was unselfish, he's rewarded, gets the base hit. But that's why this Cardinal offense has been so good up to this point. You have guys doing a great job in the situational spot, whether it's bunt, the pitcher bunting them over to second base, guys moving them over to third here. The opportunities have been abundant, and they've been cashing in.
Now Chris Duncan, who walked his first time up. Duncan off to a big start this season. Fastball in there, a strike, including last week against this very same Cub left-hander Sean Marshall. A 2-run home run gave St. Louis a 3-1 lead. Duncan's in a groove. You like getting him in the lineup. He will cool off, and cool off considerably sooner or later. But right now, play the hot hand. He's behind 0-2.
Well, very athletic kid, has a lot of power. Obviously derailed last year with the neck injury. But for a big guy, he's a very selective hitter.
Khalil Green in the on-deck circle. Cardinals have runners on the corners in a scoreless game. Last of the 4th inning. Nobody out. Breaking ball fouled away.
That's Marshall's pitch today. He's had great command with the curveball. It's great break. He's been able to work both sides of the plate, throw it at any location. You know, as a hitter right now, you're thinking, okay, the curveball is the pitch he's going to try to get me out with. He may try to set me up with the fastball. Got to be ready to protect, but the fastball probably will not be for a strike. Well, Soto trying to put down the right fingers. Marshall and he not on the same page yet. See, look at that number, 322 with runners in scoring position this year.
Back to the mound, caught by Marshall. And really alert base running by both Ludwig and especially Molina to not be doubled off.
As you mentioned, a great job. And the base runners not getting off too far, and see sort of a cutter up out of the zone, and really a good job by Molina not to get caught off, keep the inning alive.
Wish I had a nickel for every time you've seen that turn into a double play.
Man.
Right there, a line drive and an infielder with 2 on and nobody out in an inning.
You'd have a couple dimes.
You're right about that. Maybe today. Breaking ball in there, a strike to Khalil Green. This becomes a big batter in this inning for Sean Marshall. You have a number 8 hitter, Barden, on deck. Then, of course, a pitcher spot. 0-1. 0-2. Another venomous breaking ball from Marshall.
You know, there hasn't been a lot to be excited about if you're a Cub fan or your Cub management right now, but I'll tell you what, Marshall, the way he's throwing today with the break on his pitches and going against the offense like the Cardinals right now.
Fly ball left center field. Soriano came in, now drifts back, is looking for help. Badly misplayed by Soriano. 1 run will score on what is a double by Khalil Green. We brought up the wind today. Outside the stadium, it's an extremely windy day. And maybe this had something to do with this from Soriano.
Well, Khalil Green really puts a charge in it, and he's got some barrel in his bat. It had a lot of power with San Diego. Soriano stepped in to begin with, but as we've seen today, the ball has carried. We saw Kosuke Fukudome over in right field almost misplay a ball. Reed Johnson at the very beginning of the game had to go deep, and so did Colby Rasmus. You know, I think if anything, when the ball is hit, the first step should be back as an outfielder, but still tough. Soriano not noted for his defense, and I'm not so sure he could have caught that ball anyhow off the wall.
So 1-0 St. Louis. Runners at second and third, only 1 out. And now the number 8 hitter, Brian Barden. The Cubs bring their infield in. Barden singled into right, his only time up today. Strike 1.
Yeah, you know, I'm not so sure why the infield is in this situation. You've got them in, you know, base. First you make the hitter a better hitter, and then it's 2 runs. I mean, play the infield back, you know, get the out, make it just a 2-run game. You got the pitcher up next. You basically, if he gets a hit, that's 2 runs, and you got the infield in. I question this one, especially when you're going against a rookie pitcher. You know, the offense, you haven't scored yet, but you know you're going to score runs this year.
And now timeout called by Soto. Well, this season, Fans, you can use Twitter to stay connected to Fox Saturday Baseball. Followers will receive alerts to original video columns posted at foxsports.com, backstage photo insights from major league announcers like Eric Karros as he tweets throughout the week from California. Follow us at twitter.com/MLB on Fox. Base hit left field. 2 runs will score, and the Cardinals lead 3-0.
Brian Barden with the infield in knows all he's got to do is just pop the ball over the infield. This is a breaking ball out over the plate. Up. It hasn't been as characteristic as what Marshall's been throwing today, where that breaking ball has been down at the knees. Again, Soriano coming in. Not going to be able to get the runner. And here we go again with this St. Louis Cardinal ball club hitting with runners in scoring position. And again, as you mentioned, the Cardinals, they're not going to be this good all year long, and the Cubs aren't going to struggle this much all year long. But right now, boy, what a contrast.
Mitchell Boggs put down a sacrifice his first time up. They'll let him swing away with a 3-0 lead, and 1 out, a runner at second base here in the 4th. Strike 1. Or at least on the first pitch, they let him swing away. Nothing at 2. Boggs has never had a major league hit and still doesn't. Take a peek ahead to next week. David Wright and the Mets will lock up with a team that caught them back-to-back years in the East, the Philadelphia Phillies. Some will see the Astros and the Braves. Others, the Indians and the Tigers. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by DirecTV returns next week, a special time, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, following This Week in Baseball at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on Fox. Check local listings for the game and start time in your area. Well, the Mets have had a tough start to this season. They were swept 3 in a row this week right here in this ballpark.
Now they're looking for some starting pitching. They had a nice win yesterday. Now the Phillies, that big home run by Shane Victorino in the 9th inning against Lindstrom of the Marlins.
Was that a 7-run 9th inning, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mets winners earlier today as well over Washington. Ground ball by Brendan Ryan should end the inning. A 3-run inning for St. Louis. 3-0 Redbirds as we go to the 5th.
The car's perfect. Show me the Carfax.
Sure. Here you go.
What's that?
It's your Carfax.
He said Carfax.
Hi, I'm your Carfax. Buy the car, you're gonna love it. Carfax. Carfax. Same thing, huh?
Carfax provides a vehicle history report so you can buy a used car with more confidence. Get it free at thousands of reputable dealers. Just say, "Show me the Carfax."
Sometimes the best way to get closer is to get as far away from it all as possible. Don't let erectile dysfunction get in the way. Viagra is America's most prescribed ED treatment. It's been proven to help men with all degrees of ED. Ready to talk to your doctor? Find out how at Viagra.com. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Don't take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects may include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease in vision or hearing. 20 million men have had the Viagra conversation. Ask your doctor if Viagra is right for you.
Hey, is it safe to drink milk after the expiration date?
Not for you guys.
Get the best answers to your questions the first time, every time. Only at Ask.com.
We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, where the Cardinals at the end of 4 have a 3-0 lead over the Chicago Cubs. Mitchell Boggs delivers strike 1. Latter third in the batting order, Giovanni Soto, to be followed by Aaron Miles and then Sean Marshall. Soto hit a line drive right back through the middle that Boggs knocked down, picked it up, threw him out. Boggs started the year in the minor leagues, and then when Chris Carpenter was hurt, was brought up to fill his spot in the rotation, but due to off days, a rain out, Boggs has only pitched in 1 game, and that was out of the bullpen last week against these Cubs. Fly ball straight away center field. Rasmus has got it one away, but certainly we caught up with the skipper Tony La Russa. So far so good today for Mitchell Boggs.
Well, we really like the way he competes, Tommy. I mean, he comes after hitters, and it's just a question of, in this league, command. But he's got enough guts and he's got enough stuff.
4 outfielders for 3 spots. Talk a little bit about that environment, that atmosphere, and how you get production from everybody.
Well, fortunately, you can put 3 guys out there at a time. It just means one quality guy's got to sit, and then they are all teammates. So the guy that sits leads the cheerleading. But they're all going to be fresh if you keep doing it this way. And, I mean, every one of them would like to play a little bit more, but they're all getting enough.
Tony, are you surprised your team is 12-5?
I don't pay a lot of attention to the numbers, Tom. What we really look at is the effort, and I'm not surprised that it's a hard-playing club. And then, obviously, it's execution. And, we've been okay, but we've got a lot of improvement ahead. But we will play hard.
Tony, thanks for the time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Execution again today. I mean, we saw it pretty much a microcosm of what they've been this year. The single at bat by Yadier Molina.
Yeah, I mean, offensively they have been great, and it's covered up a lot of things. I mean, I think Tony would have to acknowledge that he's surprised. They're leading the major leagues in errors as a team. Four to 3 there. You get back to that. You're not going to win over the course of the season if you don't catch the ball, and they haven't caught the ball well. Again, like I said, offensively they've done things. The pitching staff has been banged up. The middle core, as far as the relief pitching's had its troubles, and yet they've got the best record in the National League along with the Dodgers. But he's got to be surprised, and like you said, offensively they're not going to do this the entire year. Defense, you've got to shore that up. And that's something that you can come to play defense every year. The offense is going to come and go.
And really, it will be very interesting when all is said and done. You talked about the defense and taking a look down there in that bullpen, where for so long they had Jason Isringhausen that they could count on. Now, granted, the last couple of years he's not been the same guy that had the great run for a number of years in that Cardinal pen. But, without an established closer, can Ryan Franklin, among others, right now Franklin is their designated closer, can they do what you have to have from a 9th inning guy?
Well, again, as you mentioned, they don't have the established guy, and ideally you'd like to go out and have that proven guy that you can put at the end of the game. And the reason for it, it's not just so much about winning a game, but there's nothing more demoralizing than coming from ahead and losing, which is what you do if you've got the lead and the closer blows it. Not only do you physically lose the game, but mentally after the game it's draining. Then you don't have the confidence in that guy. And, you know, maybe Ryan Franklin is that guy, and we just don't know that yet. I mean, he's done an admirable job up to this point. But again, if you're a club that's got the potential to go deep into a postseason, I don't know if you want to go in there with question marks.
Well, there's a defense on a routine ground ball to Barton with a pitcher running. The air mails Pujols. And that'll put a runner at second base with 2 outs. The inning should be over.
I mean, just a routine play right here. He's got the ball and the pitcher running, just kind of a flip over there. He gets away, and you know, real easy to do as a player. You get out there. It's not that you're nonchalant, but you think, okay, I got it. I'm just going to flip it over there. I've got the pitcher running. He's jogging. You know, maybe if it's that speedy guy, you get it, boom, you get it over there. But heck, this may even work to St. Louis's advantage. You get Marshall standing around out there at second base, get him in this sun. Just as long as Boggs can get Theriot.
Theriot is flied out to center, fouled out to Molina behind the plate.
But you know, getting back to the airs, you're not going to continue to dodge bullets as St. Louis has done. It doesn't happen. You may do it for the first week, the first 2 weeks, but over the course of a season, not going to work.
No, there aren't many division title winners that are at the bottom in defense.
Well, you look at what Tampa Bay did last year. I mean, they, you know, from 07 to 08, defense dramatically improved.
Grounded fair down the third base line, so the air will bite him at least for 1 run. As Theriot drives in Marshall, and the Cubs on the board. It's a 3-1 game.
Well, Theriot has been one of the most consistent hitters, and that's why he's at the top of the lineup now. And you see, he gets this pitch, it's out over the plate and just pulls it down the line, keeps it fair. He's one of those guys that's going to go up there. He's going to pester the pitcher. He's going to give him a tough at bat. You know, and he's been doing his job. You know, it's that middle of the lineup. Those guys are the guys that need to get going.
Theriot away from Wrigley Field, wearing it out. Of course, he's doing it just about everywhere. We brought up his very first at bat of the game. He is becoming a very dependable, solid, everyday player. Now Fukudome, who with 1 crack of the bat could knock this thing up. He has 3 home runs this young season.
Well, and that's what we talked about, you know, St. Louis being able to dodge the fielding miscues, at least up to this point. You know, giving up 1 run now. As you mentioned, Fukudome pops one. It's a tie ball game, and why? All because of a miscue on a ball hit by the pitcher.
Tony La Russa told us before the game, because it's been so long since Boggs has started a game and has only pitched in the 1 game since being brought up, he didn't figure for him to be in this game all that deep. I mean, not one of the efforts where it's going to be a 7-8 inning outing for Boggs. A little bit of stirring around, but nobody throwing yet in the bullpen.
Yeah, you know, he's been pretty pitch efficient, though. You know, coming into this inning, he's been pretty good. 57. He's got a total of 77 right now. But I wouldn't expect, you know, much more past 90 just today. But again, you know, he should be in the dugout right now watching the Cardinals hit.
Pulled into right field. That ball almost hit Theriot. He'll stop at second. So after the air, back-to-back hits from Theriot and Fukudome, and now a crack of the bat could give Chicago the lead.
Now Fukudome doing a nice job of keeping his head right on the ball. You know, a lot of rotation Fukudome has, and that's, you know, he has a tendency sometimes to pull off that pitch on the outer half of the plate when he is struggling. As we've seen today, he's gone the other way, rotated on that pitch down in the middle. See Dave Duncan heading out there to Give Boggs a break. You know, and that's the thing that the pitchers, you know, when there's an error made behind them, sure, it's easy to blame the fielder, but as a pitcher, that's where you establish yourself and you earn the confidence of your teammates by going out there and saying, you know what, I'm going to get the next guy out. I'll pick you up. You know, and that's what he's been unable to do right now.
Well, now he has to face Alfonso Soriano, who for the first time in a couple of seasons did not hit in the leadoff spot last night, was dropped to the 3-hole. That's where he bats again today. And he has 2 on with 2 out. Swing and a miss, and the ball gets away from Yadier Molina, and both runners will advance. Theriot to third, Fukudome to second.
Well, very similar to the pitch that he struck Soriano out in the previous at bat. It's that breaking ball, and in the last time Molina got down on his knees and almost blocked it. Well, he did block it. That situation, tried to backhand it. It shoots away from him. Again, Soriano hasn't had good swings against Boggs at all. Got to stay with that breaking pitch.
And he did. Soriano does not have a hit this season with runners in scoring position. 0 for 12.
Well, you see, getting a steady diet of that breaking ball. You know, Molina, again, he's got to set up outside, be ready to block something in the dirt. And if I'm pitching right now, Soriano gets 4 straight breaking balls in the dirt outside.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. They got to throw to first, and they do successfully. But the Cubs get a run. They trail 3-1. Albert due to bat in the Cardinal fifth.
I was working late again, as I often do, and weekends, when I discovered all these amazing features that DirecTV gives customers for free. Instant local weather by zip code.
I love weather.
Mixed channels. Game search.
It's a much better value. What do we do?
2 words. Federal bailout. Read a paper. Everybody's doing it.
You've seen our balance sheet. We qualify.
Now you can save $21 a month for an entire year. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
What have you been doing?
Playing baseball.
Ah. Where's the ferry?
Stop out.
No boat?
El debacle, un disastro.
We could swim across.
Swimming?
Well, what's going on here?
Hi.
Engine trouble?
It's broken.
Well, maybe I've got an idea.
For auto, home, and business, Travelers.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. I love the 11 herbs and spices.
I'm the Colonel's girl. I love their chicken.
Grilled chicken. I need this recipe.
Kentucky Grilled Chicken.
You've got to taste new Kentucky Grilled Chicken. It's marinated and grilled to perfection for that 5-star fall-off-the-bone taste you just got to come in and try. Now try new Kentucky Grilled Chicken in a 2-piece meal for just $3.99.
My compliments to the chef.
Tasty on fried side of KFC.
Fox Saturday Baseball presented by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Middle of the fifth on this gorgeous spring Saturday. Warm weather has finally arrived in the heartland earlier this week. And it's warm today in St. Louis. Temperatures in the high 80s. We understand it reached 90 degrees here yesterday. One and one to Colby Rasmus. He'll be followed by Albert Pujols, Ryan Ludwig against Sean Marshall. Rasmus 1 of 2, singled his last time up. Alfonso Soriano has seen a steady diet of those breaking balls from Mitchell Boggs, and that batting average has lost some weight. 1-2 to Colby Rasmus. We'll do it again.
Well, you can see too, you've got the shadows, which always pleasant for a hitter. Ha ha.
Does it bother you?
It bothered me. It was tough to pick up the rotation of a ball. Any kind of breaking pitches, I remember I'd go tell the pitchers, you know, in this situation when I was playing first, just throw breaking balls. If they're halfway decent, a hitter's not going to hit it.
Of course, you know, I remember you from time to time on those day games. You used to wear those shades up there at the plate, right?
That was just for style, Tommy.
That's what I was getting at. At least you're an open, honest man. And there's that breaking ball.
You know, you're talking about the breaking ball today. I mean, you know, that last at bat by Soriano, I mean, Boggs just went after 3 breaking balls, none of them even a strike. Soriano continuing to offer after each one of them. And that's a problem of having Soriano, or a guy like Soriano, hitting third. He's not a disciplined hitter. He's not a guy that's your prototypical third hitter. He has the production, but that production is done in the leadoff spot. You know, it's different. You're pitched differently. You know, that situation right there, Boggs did not throw one. It wasn't even a close pitch to the strike zone. You know, Soriano offered all 3 with runners out there. You know, and hitting in that third spot, you're going to have a ton of RBI opportunities.
Grounded foul by Pujols. A hitless day so far for Albert. He's grounded to second and flied out to right.
You know, hitless day, but he's hit the ball relatively well. You know, and speaking to hitting coach Hal McRae yesterday, he was talking about Pujols, and Pujols can even get hits, but if he's not hitting the ball hard, he's frustrated as heck. You know, come out and work and work. Shoot, I was just happy to get a hit. I was just happy to be playing.
Chased a pitch up there. When you look already for Pujols, who broke in 2001, and where he ranks among one of the storied franchises in Major League history with so many great players.
Well, you know, that slugging percentage, I was looking at that, and compared to players all time, he was third. You know, I think Babe Ruth and Ted Williams, third or fourth. Lou Gehrig. I mean, that's unbelievable. Another great Cardinal, Stan Musial. But you know, you get back to the comparisons. I mean, somebody at this day and age where the game has changed offensively, it's a different game. The defense is better. Players are faster. The equipment's better.
Third time Pujols will be retired today.
Well, one of the few times you get Albert Pujols out, breaking ball, setting up away, then you get that fastball. He just didn't get to it. Fastball out of the zone, having Albert expand his zone, but you see them working away and up, working away and up. That fastball a bit out of the zone, Albert a bit aggressive. You know, Albert, I think, got himself out. I don't think anybody gets Albert out. I think he gets himself out. I mean, he's that good. You know, as you mentioned earlier, this guy, Ryan Ludwig, I mean, having a great start to a season, proven last year was no fluke. I think right now, as you see, as this game evolves here with the shadows, I'm not so sure you're going to see the swings or the hitting that you might see if there wasn't that shadow.
You know, I'd like to ask this guy, you know, get guys this question all the time when you're getting into, because, you know, some guys I'm always fascinated where they say, oh, you know, never bothered me. But I've never heard anybody talking about it, specifically the differentiation between fastball, breaking ball. In the air, left center field will end the inning. We'll get back to that in the 6th. A good bounce back inning for Marshall. Sets down the side in order. We go to the 6th. 3-1 St. Louis.
We created Hyundai Assurance to offer up a little peace of mind. And for a limited time, we've even gone and added something extra. A plus. If you lose your income, we'll make your payments for 3 months while you get back on your feet. And if you need help beyond that, you can still bring the car back.
Get one of America's best values on the 2009 Hyundai Accent, starting at $9,970 MSRP.
At 155 miles per hour, Andy Roddick has the fastest serve in the history of professional tennis. So I've come to this court to challenge his speed. On the internet, I'll be using the 3G AT&T Laptop Connect card. He won't. So I can book travel plans faster, check my account balances faster, all on the go. I'm Bill Curtis, and I'm faster than Andy Roddick.
Switch to the nation's fastest 3G network and get the AT&T Laptop Connect card for free.
Vehicle's warning signs aren't this easy to spot. Fortunately, though, there are Napa Auto Care Centers where professional technicians will give your vehicle the preventive maintenance it needs to improve your gas mileage and possibly avoid major problems down the road. Napa, get the good stuff.
The line between like and love? You crossed it. Let the world know. Put your favorite team logo on your credit card, check card, and checks with MLB Banking. Only from Bank of America.
Fox Saturday Baseball presented by DirecTV is sponsored by AT&T. Your world delivered by Napa Auto Parts. Napa, get the good stuff. And by Bank of America. Show the world it's not like, it's love. Get MLB Banking only from Bank of America. Derek Lee to start things against Mitchell Boggs in the Cubs' 6th inning. St. Louis leads it 3-1.
You know, real quick, we were talking about the shadows. Now you're in a situation right now. The shadows are very faint. You're hoping the cloud cover comes over. You know, not as pronounced as it was.
Fly ball on the right, one away. And the thing I was going to get to and ask you about, does it even back up again in, say, what, 20 minutes from now, where both the pitcher and the batter are in the shade, although the hitter's backdrop is still in the sun?
That's a problem as well, but it's not as bad as when you have that shadow as you see in between the pitcher's mound and home plate, because that's where it's in the light and it's coming into the shadow. And what you're, you know, as a hitter right now, it's you can see you're just hoping for some cloud cover. If you see a cloud in the sky, you're blowing and blowing, get that cloud over the sun, especially when you're up or your team's up. But I used to hate that. I used to hate the 5 o'clock starts in LA. Did not like those at all.
Breaking ball stayed high. 2-1 to Fontenot. 1 for 2 today. 3 runs, 6 hits for St. Louis. 1 run, 5 hits for the Cubs. St. Louis has committed the game's only error, and it led to Chicago's only run.
Again, this Cubs offense just has not come on track yet, hasn't got going, and missing a key component, at least, you know, their offseason plans, and Milton Bradley, who had an unbelievable spring. You know, when they get all those parts working, they feel that, hey, look, they're going to be as strong as anybody, and I believe they can.
3-2 to Fontenot.
But the key is to get all those parts working, get all those players in the lineup. And you know, right now, it's, if you're a Cub fan, you're going, oh, geez, here we go again. But again, it's been a bad 2 weeks. Or in a bad 2 weeks, you're a game over 500.
Tapper by the mound, charging is Ryan. That's out number 2. Major League Baseball and People magazine are looking for individuals who have made a difference in their community. 30 everyday All-Stars will be honored at the 2009 All-Star Game If you would like to nominate someone, go to peopleallstars.com. All of us know so many in our community who are everyday all-stars. peopleallstars.com to nominate someone in your community. That'll be a nice part of the All-Star festivities here on Fox. That ball tagged into left field by Johnson. That's a 2-out single for Reed Johnson.
You mentioned that ball was tagged. I mean, you look at, there's no sun, there's no shadows going on right now, and not to say that that's the reason why, but it makes it a bit easier. See, just a fastball up and in. Reed Johnson does a nice job of turning and spinning on it. And now we're back to play here, and guess what we got? We've got the sun. We've got some shadows. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But
well, no.
As a former hitter, I'm telling you,
it was very interesting that when that cloud came over, you had a guy that put a good swing on the ball. In the air down the right field line. Ludwig coming hard and will not get there.
The real kicker is when you get those shadows in the dome stadiums.
Yeah. Well, that would be news.
You know, it's funny. I'm just thinking now. We had an outfielder, Roger Cedeno. I was with the Dodgers playing in the Astrodome. One of our coaches, the clubhouse very far away from the field, had to run down to the field. He needed sunglasses in the Astrodome. You got to be kidding me.
That looked like a cross-up right there. Molina coming out to talk to Boggs. 1-1 to Soto.
You know, and that's something that we've seen Molina go out to the mound a number of times today, and that's something that, you know, he wins the Gold Glove because of his defense, but also what he does in leading his pitcher through a game, making sure that they're on the same page. You know, he doesn't take anything for granted. He doesn't assume that his pitcher knows something or knows what he wants to do, and that's something that, you know, successful catchers are able to do.
1-1 to Soto. A little bit low, and of course that became a big part of last night's game, where Lou Piniella whistled out to his catcher Giovanni Soto. Carlos Marmol was on the mound. Pujols just had a 1-out single in a tie game in the 8th inning, and he told Soto, go out there and tell Marmol that we've got to hold Pujols close, that he will try and steal a base in this very situation. And to Soto's credit, Piniella never brought it up to the press after the game was over. Soto brought it up to the press and said, I made a mistake. I went out to the mound and I never told him that.
Yeah, and that's, you know, the maturation, I should say, of Soto acknowledging the mistake.
Pitch in the dirt. Runner got a good jump. Reed Johnson, and easily gets into second base on the wild pitch.
And not much Molina can do with this pitch. He's just getting down on his knees trying to block it. He does a great job of keeping it in front. But Reed Johnson, an even better job. You're taught to get that good secondary. If you see a ball low or bounce in the dirt, you just take off, because the assumption is the ball's going to get away from the catcher. He's not going to be able to run it down, pick it up, and throw it to second base.
So now another chance for the Cubs with runners in scoring position. 3-2 on Giovanni Soto, and we'll do it again. Saw Jason Mott, hard throwing young right-hander, loosening in the Cardinal pen. David Patton begins to throw for Chicago. You have Soto here in the 7-hole. Pitcher spot, 2 away. Came with a 3-2 fastball and missed. A bit of a surprise there.
Yeah, I thought in that situation he'd probably go with a breaking ball. You've got first base open. Again, you're talking with the shadows, tough to pick up that spin. And, you know, that's been his pitch that's been tough for the Cub hitters to lay off.
And that may do it, although we'll see. Yep, that's it. What an excellent start today by Mitchell Boggs. He's allowed 1 unearned run so far, and he'll lead with 2 away in the 6th.
I I think that possibly, maybe I'm falling for you. Yes, there's a chance that I've fallen quite hard over you. I've seen the waters that make your eyes shine.
More bars in more places. AT&T, the best coverage worldwide. Buy a Samsung messaging phone like the Samsung Propel after mail-in rebate and get one free after mail-in rebate.
Why let heartburn stop you when you can stop heartburn? Just one Zantac with a cool mint sensation can knock it out all day or all night for strong, lasting relief. Heartburn? Attack it. Zantac.
Honey, how much am I supposed to weigh?
190.
I'm about 20 pounds away from that.
Okay, well, whose fault is that?
Yours and your 7-layer dip.
Get the best answers to your questions the first time, every time. Only at ask.com.
Sit right here and have another beer in Mexico. Let the warm air melt these blues away.
I've been a Pirates fan since 1979.
Since I was about 8 years old.
I've loved him ever since I was a little kid. Since I was 6 years old.
He was about 4 years old.
20 years. 25 years.
21 years. 36 years.
Since about 10, when I was 10.
Since 98 when they came.
We got 4 generations of Cubs fans.
I actually went to 94 games last year.
I'm going to be with this team till I die.
I was born a Cards fan.
I've been a Twins fan forever.
The game was on in the hospital room, actually.
This is beyond loyalty. This is beyond baseball.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Mitchell Boggs, 5 2/3 innings, allows 6 hits, 1 unearned run, but he leaves with 2 aboard and 2 out, giving way to Jason Mott, hard-throwing young right-hander who blew a save the first game of the season as he misses ball 1 to Aaron Miles, and Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan thought, you know, perhaps we ought to let him get his feet wet in a different role for a little while before becoming the closer of the team.
Well, and he had success in spring training in that closer role. Had 5 saves, but again, much different. Doing it under these circumstances, the adrenaline, the pressure, and you know, this is a guy that's just been pitching for a few years. He was a converted catcher, or is a converted catcher, I should say. And he's a guy that just goes back and he throws, just relying on his arms. Still hasn't learned to pitch. But when you're throwing 96, that learning curve usually quickens.
Two and 1 to Aaron Miles with 2 on and 2 out here in the Chicago 6th inning. That missed just low. 3 balls and a strike. Pitcher spot due up next. And Michael Hoffpower stands in the on-deck circle, bat in hand. 3-1 on Aaron Miles. Full count. The runners will start.
Go up your Miles. You got Mott on the mound. You know that the fastball is coming right here. You just got to make sure it's a strike.
It was a strike, and it's popped up short center. Rasmus a play, and Mott slams the door. 2 left.
Now the colors of life can last a lifetime. Valspar, the beauty goes on.
Pepsi's got another hit on their hands, and it's called Pepsi Throwback. Pepsi Throwback, made with natural sugar, only for a limited time. Sing it, baby.
Pepsi! Sing it loud, Pepsi!
Here's Ryan getting ready to make his approach. To the men's room.
Looks like he needs to go urgently.
True. And there's Casey about to drive, also to the men's room.
He has been going over and over.
Now Wilson, third time today, says he's going a lot at night, too.
Yes, I'm afraid he thinks it's par for the course.
They ought to see their doctors.
Could be male urinary symptoms due to BPH and enlarged prostate.
For many guys, prescription Flomax reduces their urinary symptoms due to BPH in 1 week.
1 week?
Only your doctor can tell if you have BPH, not a more serious condition like prostate cancer.
Avoid driving or hazardous tasks for 12 hours after your first dose or increase in dose, as a sudden drop in blood pressure may occur, rarely resulting in fainting.
If considering cataract surgery, tell your eye surgeon you've taken Flomax. Common side effects are runny nose, dizziness, and decrease in semen.
Ask your doctor if Flomax is right for you.
And call 877-4FLOMAX to see if you qualify for up to $40 off new or refill prescriptions.
For many men, Flomax can make a difference in 1 week.
Well, here's our Flomax replay, and this is Yadier Molina doing a great job. You know, Mitchell Boggs got 2 strikes. He's able to throw that ball in the dirt because he has confidence in Molina that he's going to block it. But just like Flomax, Yadier Molina giving a little extra help.
Our Flomax replay. Bottom of the 6th inning. Sean Marshall has pitched a good game here today. Allowed the 3 runs, all in the 4th inning. They'll face Yadier Molina, Chris Duncan, and Khalil Green in the St. Louis 6th. Talked about Yadier Molina winning his first Gold Glove last season for defensive excellence. He received that Gold Glove award before the game today. Boy, those are nice. They are nice.
Well, we saw evidence of that him blocking that ball.
Fondo. That's a nice play. Fondo doesn't get a lot of playing time over at third base today, filling in for the injured Aramis Ramirez.
And you see Fontenot ranging to his left, and that's a tough play because he's got to turn his body. Now you've got a guy like Molina who's not fleet of foot. He's got time to set and throw, but real tough because he's not in a good position to throw. But you see he turns his upper body, can't get his feet turned, and makes a good strong throw. You see Chris Duncan taking that pitch just a couple inches off the plate. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if there's anything, he's got a great eye, and sometimes a guy with that kind of power, with that kind of ability, you know, you can afford to expand the zone a little bit. And I'll tell you, Marshall has got that curveball today. Working both sides of the plate. You know, Duncan just has to hope that he misses somewhere in his location.
Two gone in the inning, and for Marshall, that's his 5th strikeout of the game. So now Marshall will try and finish off in what certainly is his final inning of work. Finish off the Redbirds and Khalil Green with a perfect 6th inning. And it's been the breaking ball today that has been so impressive. The only inning they heard him was in the 4th. Khalil Green with a run-scoring double to left center, and then 2 scored on a base hit by Brian Barden. 3 runs, 4 hits in the 4th inning. Outside of that, almost 5 complete innings for Marshall. 2 hits and no runs. In the air, right center, playable for Johnson, inning over. So 6 strong innings for Marshall on the short end of a 3-1 game. We're back after a local Fox station break.
You're watching Major League Baseball on Fox.
Many people think a car breakdown is going to happen, no matter what.
Most breakdowns can be prevented. The technicians at QC Auto Service Centers are highly trained to advise you and troubleshoot areas that may cause problems down the road. Is your check engine light on? When was the last time you had your hoses and belts checked? Make sure your vehicle is road ready. Drive into the QC Auto Service Center near you. QC Auto Service Centers, keeping you on the road.
Why don't they ever show the bottom of the tractor? Like the industry's thickest steel frame. The deck, built by aerospace engineers for the perfect cut. The best-in-class turning radius that cuts mowing time. Maybe they don't show it because they have nothing to show. The new Cub Cadet Series 1000. It redefines lawn tractors from the bottom up. With 0% financing, now's the time to buy a Cub Cadet. Visit your Cub Cadet retailer today.
Agility, control, for whatever the road throws your way. The IS from Lexus. Lease the 2009 IS 250 all-wheel drive for $349 a month for 36 months with $3549 due at signing at your Lexus dealer.
Weeknights at 9:30 on Fox 18.
Welcome back to Fox Saturday Baseball in St. Louis, presented by DirecTV. Follow your favorite Major League team no matter where you live with DirecTV. End of 6, 3 runs, 6 hits in air, 4 left for St. Louis. The Cubs 1 run, 6 hits, no errors, 8 stranded, 7. Including 6 in the last 3 innings. Mitchell Boggs, a starter for St. Louis, 5 2/3, allowed the 6 hits and 1 run unearned. As Joey Gathright bats 4. Sean Marshall, who pitched a rock-solid game here today for Lou Piniella's team.
Well, Marshall did it. He did a great job holding this Cardinal offense to only 3 runs, and arguably the ball in left field, you know, Soriano could have had a better beat on it.
High bouncer waiting on it at third as Barton bare hands throws and unable to pick it out of the dirt as Pujols. Sure, that'll be an infield hit. It is.
Yeah, Barton doing the only thing that he could possibly do with the left-handed hitting Gathright up at the plate. Tries to barehand it, and in the same motion that he's grabbing it, trying to throw it as well, and Pujols almost able to dig it out, keeps it in front of him. Again, that's one of those do or die plays. Pujols had it in the glove and just squirted out. But here you go now. You've got the top of the lineup. This is where the Cubs offense, you know, Terrio and Fukudome have been, you know, some of the better hitters up to this point in the season. You know, they've got the table set, and in that middle of the lineup, you got Soriano in that third spot. You're putting him there for a reason.
Well, a lot of Cub fans have been screaming for Lou Piniella to make that move since they brought Soriano on board to, you know, drop him down into the middle of the lineup and really to produce more runs because of the number of home runs that he will give a team. There are a lot of general managers out there that'll tell you when Soriano came up on the free agent market, Many did not like the fact that Soriano was hitting 40 home runs and knocking in 80 runs a year. And that tends to happen if you do that in that leadoff spot. Now, you'll take the 40 and 120 if you're batting in the third hole or the fourth hole.
Right, but just because you did it in the first hole, the first spot, doesn't mean you're going to do it in that third spot. And that's the thing that, I mean, you know, people have to understand. Just because he's doing it in the one hole doesn't guarantee that he can do it in the third spot.
2-0 down to Terrio. Soriano may get yet another chance in this game here today. He came up with 2 on and 2 out in the 5th inning, and is still hitless on the year with runners in scoring position. 0 for 13. Two and 0 on Terrio. 3 balls and no strikes. No one loosening in the Cardinal bullpen. That may change shortly.
Well, this is where Terrio is going to see 3 straight fastballs. It's almost as if you've got to take 2. You know, your job as a hitter right now is to set the table. Now, in this situation, you're looking for something right down the middle, something you can drive, not a pitch that's on the corner, not something that's up a little bit. You're zoning them as a hitter. Fastball got to be right there.
Runner goes, and it's fouled back out of play. 3-2.
Had a good swing on it. Just fouled it back. So what pitch you think's coming here, huh?
You called it earlier. With Aaron Miles at the plate on 3-2. I mean, the gas is coming.
It's fastball.
Oh, and they pick off Gathright. Goodness gracious. Things have gone from poor to worse. And Lou Piniella kicking stuff around in the dugout.
You've got nowhere to go. Your run doesn't mean anything, and sure, you want to move, but you're counting on the pitcher going home. That's a situation as a runner. You've got to see the pitcher going home. You're not out there to try and steal a base. If you get thrown out, it's because, look, the hitter didn't hit it or something to that effect, but you're not trying to steal a bag.
And then on the very next pitch, ball 4 with a fastball. Time for the Just for Men hold leaders for St. Louis a season ago. Al McClellan had an outstanding rookie year. Of course, they no longer have Valone, Springer, Flores. Franklin is back. And just as these relievers keep their team in the game, you can stay in the game as well with Just for Men hair cover.
Are you using the gray color?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much. I was starting to say, you know, you and I aren't that far apart in age. But, boy, your hair is still brown and wavy, and mine's gray and tired. Fouled out of play, third base side.
Yeah, as a player, you know that he doesn't get an opportunity to play much. He gets out there, and then, you know, that's really a mental mistake. I mean, physically he's picked off, but mentally he has to know, do not move until the pitcher is going home.
Fugedome showing bunt.
Well, Fugedome trying to surprise the Cardinals. He squares the bunt. Almost wears one right in the lips.
Terrio with a big lead over there at first. And this could be a double play ball. There's a tag. There's a throw.
Okay, maybe it was my fault. She told me to kill the weeds.
And you did, along with the grass.
I used the wrong stuff.
Oh, there were dead spots everywhere.
This is the right stuff. Ortho Weed Be Gone Max. It kills weeds down to the root. Even the tough ones like dandelion and crabgrass.
But unlike that other stuff, it won't kill the grass. Ortho guarantees it. Kill the weeds, not the lawn.
Weeds, not lawn.
You got it?
Yeah. Ortho Weed Be Gone Max.
Defend what's yours.
If you're like a lot of people, you have high blood pressure and you have high cholesterol. You've taken steps to and lower both your numbers, but how close are you to your goals? There may be more you can do. Only Catawet combines 2 proven medicines in a single pill to significantly lower high blood pressure and high cholesterol. In a clinical study of patients with slightly elevated blood pressure and cholesterol, Catawet helped 48% reach both goals in just 4 weeks.
Catawit is one of many treatment options, in addition to diet and exercise, that you can discuss with your doctor. Catawit is not for everyone. It's not for people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. To check for liver problems, you need simple blood tests. Tell your doctor about any heart problems and all other medications you are taking, or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as they may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect.
How close are you to where you want to be? Ask your doctor if Catawit can help you go for both your goals.
Absolutely my favorite fried chicken.
It's fried.
Fried?
It's grilled.
Kentucky grilled chicken. Grilled, grilled, grilled.
Change is good.
Oh man, don't be eyeing my bucket.
You've got to taste new Kentucky Grilled Chicken. It's marinated and grilled to perfection for that 5-star fall-off-the-bone taste you just gotta come in and try. Now try new Kentucky Grilled Chicken in a 2-piece meal for just $3.99. Tasty on fried side of KFC.
Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by DirecTV, is sponsored by Catawet. By Ortho Weed Be Gone Max, kills weeds, not lawns, guaranteed. And by Kentucky Grilled Chicken. Get a 2-piece meal for just $3.99 and unthink KFC. On that last double play ball, Ryan Theriot came up limping. He'll stay in the game for the time being. Tough to tell what happened here, Eric Karros.
Yeah, when you see this ball hitting to Brandon Ryan, Theriot trying to avoid the tag, thinking maybe about stopping, but he's running full speed. You see the ankle, the knee, just kind of an abrupt trying to halt his momentum going towards second base. We watched in between any trainers out there, Lou Piniella, and it feels like he's ready to go. Cubs fans holding their breath. Well, David Patton in there. Hard thrower.
Infrequently used David Patton. Yeah. A Rule 5 selection. From Cincinnati. That one blistered into center field. A base hit for Brian Varden. Patton was originally in Colorado's organization. Cincinnati took him into Rule 5, and then the Cubs sent money to the Reds to get him. And Rick Ankiel will now bat for Jason Mock. Ball 1 inside.
You know, we talk about this Cardinal offense and how productive they've been, and this is without Ankiel. He hadn't even got going yet. You know he's going to hit. A great year last year. Hasn't got out of the gate yet, but one of the best all-around athletes in the game. And what a center field he can play. Saw him run down a ball the other day. I think Gary Sheffield hit it.
Well, it's still one of the most amazing stories in sports, for my money. The journey of Ankiel, the most highly touted minor league pitcher in all of baseball, originally coming up through the Cardinals organization, rising all the way to the major leagues, pitching in the playoffs when all of a sudden he just could not throw a strike. Then had some injuries and decided that's it for pitching. Went all the way back to the lowest level of minor league baseball to try and make it as a position player. and has done so successfully, remarkably so.
You know, I think that when you talk about making it back, he hasn't just made it back. He's an established player on an excellent ball club. You know, it's not one of those where, hey, he's a utility guy and he'll get some at-bats here and there. One of the best center fielders in the game. Tremendous power, great arm. You know, and this is where Patton's got to be careful right now. 3-1 count, and Keel's going to be sitting on a fastball. Has the power to drive it out anywhere here.
And he walks it. Not a good start for Patton. All right, time for a DirecTV game break. A wild one going on. The Yankees were ahead 6-0. Then in the bottom of the fourth inning, down 6-1 with 2 outs. A grand slam from Jason Varitek made it a 1-run game. An inning later, tied at 6, 2 on, 2 out. Jason Bay a double to bring in David Ortiz and Kevin Youkilis to make it 8-6 Boston. The Yankees have just tied it at 8 on a Johnny Damon home run. So follow your favorite team no matter where you live with DirecTV. That is a wild one today at Fenway on a day where you had Josh Beckett starting against A.J. Burnett.
Yeah, it had all the makings of a pitcher's duel, but I tell you, that Boston offense, you know, they haven't even really got going, but Youkilis has been absolutely on fire. Pedroia.
You can follow that game at foxsports.com. Unquestionably up there to bunt is Brendan Ryan. He squares, and a breaking ball is taken low and away.
So far in this game, we've seen St. Louis execute in situations where they needed to move guys over, whether it was the bunt, Yadier Molina hitting behind the runners. The Cubs haven't been able to execute today. Here's another opportunity for the Cardinals to execute.
And you can't roll it out there any better than that. Beautifully done by Ryan. You know, Eric, it makes you wonder, and obviously they're not going to do this every game all year long. I mean, we know that, we've established that. But certainly a theme has been set for the better part of a decade under Tony La Russa, that the Cardinals, by and large, are going to play fundamentally sound baseball, which makes you wonder, why do you not see that as frequently everywhere else?
Well, that's something that Tony La Russa, I mean, that's in his makeup, and you're not going to survive here if you don't play that way. And with also, I think, you know, a lot of these guys, you know, they're not everyday guys. They're fighting to stay in the lineup. And when you're fighting to stay in the lineup, you're going to learn how to move guys over, sacrifice, play the game right, because you certainly want to be out there on that field rather than sitting on that bench.
All right, the infield in. And a breaking ball to Colby Rasmus is at the knees, a called strike. It's a good breaking ball by Pat.
I mean, you mentioned, you know, Rule 5 draft, 2 different organizations. I mean, the kid has a great arm.
Good block by Giovanni Soto. A ball and a strike. And for those of you that aren't familiar with a Rule 5 draft, basically in a nutshell, and there are stipulations to this, but if there's a player in another organization who meets a criteria for how long he's been in the minor leagues, or more accurately, not been brought to the major leagues or part of the 40-man roster, you can take another player from another organization. You will pay that organization money for that player, but you must keep him on your major league roster the entire year. If you don't, the player is offered back to the team which you took him from, or he will be sent then to your minor league system. And there are all kinds of stipulations with money and so on and so forth, but that's the gist of it. Teams are taking a flyer on a guy they think can help them, and it doesn't cost them much. Mitchell Boggs allowed 1 unearned run in his 5 2/3 inning. Sean Marshall 3 runs in 6 innings. And the struggles continue for Derek Lee. Here's a 2-1. Breaking ball high, 3-1.
Yeah, you know, I'm shocked at the breaking ball right there in a 2-1 situation. I mean, now you're 3-1. You've got a fastball coming. You got to go after Rasmus. You can't be messing around. You got Pujols on deck. I mean, now you put him in a hitter's count, just sitting on a fastball down the middle.
And you have loaded the bases for Pujols. Two Saturdays ago, right here on Fox, opening weekend, Pujols hit 2 home runs, a grand slam in the 5th off Roy Oswalt, a 3-run blast off Wesley Wright in the 7th, tying a career high with 7 runs batted in. Larry Rothschild to the mound, where I'm sure he did not have to remind Mr. Patton that Albert Pujols is batting with the bases loaded.
No, but you know, it shouldn't even have come to this. You know, you've got a guy, Colby Rasmus, who is a nice start, and he's swinging the bat well. But you're throwing a 2-1 breaking ball? I mean, that just doesn't make any sense, and you put yourself in a hole. Now, it'd be one thing if you're getting that breaking ball over the plate. You put yourself in a hole, 3-1, where now you've got to throw a pitch.
The bases loaded for Albert Pujols. And the bases are cleared by Albert Pujols. Over 1,000 runs batted in. This might be his 1,000th curtain call. Wow. That ball was hammered.
You know, this is a fastball right down the middle. I don't get it. I mean, you're going to throw a fastball right down the middle to one of the greatest hitters of our generation. You're going to throw a 2-1 breaking ball to Colby Rasmus. I don't get it. But man, oh man, you got to appreciate it. It doesn't matter what team you're a fan of. You got to appreciate the ability of Albert Pujols.
It's just amazing. I
mean, he really is. You can't even describe it. You know, you've just got to go watch, experience, and just what he accomplished. And again, as great as he is offensively and what he does on the field, he's just a greater person off the field.
Well, we have told the story on Pujols so many times. As you get another look at this grand slam, which brought this sellout crowd to its feet. You know, you talk about Pujols off the field, and you know, for many of you out there perhaps that are married and you have kids and, you know, felt like being single 100 years ago was 100 years ago, and believe me, I'm with you, I understand that. But, you know, when you think back to Pujols as a young man, and, you know, he has a chance to meet a young woman who obviously he's very interested in, and he finds out that the young woman was married and that she has a daughter with Down syndrome. Well, I'm not going to say everybody out there, that would be unfair, but let's be honest. A lot of guys out there, if they meet that young woman, they find out that she has kids, and they find out that she has a special needs child. There are a lot of guys that maybe don't have date number 2 with that young woman. Albert Pujols married that woman. And he has become the voice among many here in St. Louis and across the country for parents who have children with Down syndrome. It's really, I think, just an amazing testament to what you just said. What kind of a guy he is out of a baseball uniform.
Well, it's like I said, the character outweighs all the accomplishments of what he's done on the field, and those accomplishments are, you know, continuing to grow as he continues to play. Really, you know, for me, he is Major League Baseball. He's the guy.
Inning over. A 4-run inning. Albert getting fat on the Cubs again.
You can settle down. You can fire it up. You can tune it in, but it's still not summer until you bring it out. Bud Light Lime. Superior drinkability. Ultimate refreshment. A splash of 100% natural lime flavor. One taste and you'll find the summer state of mind. Bud Light Lime.
DirecTV is doing very well in customer satisfaction. What do we do?
I learned this in business school when I read about business school in a book. We can't improve our service, but we can improve the price. We can make it higher.
You know what? That's not a bad idea.
We'll get the people with disposable income, and they can dispose of it to us.
And they don't watch TV. They're workaholics.
They wouldn't know HD if they'd sat in their lap and called them mama.
Now you can save $21 a month for an entire year. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
So, what'd you think?
I like the car. Now, just show me the Carfax.
I've got something better than Carfax. I have a note from the previous owner. This car runs great. I promise.
Just show me the Carfax.
But it's a promise.
Carfax provides a vehicle history report so you could buy a used car with more confidence. Get it free at thousands of reputable dealers. Just say, show me the Carfax.
Why let heartburn stop you when you can stop heartburn? Just one Zantac with a cool mint sensation can knock it out all day or all night for strong, lasting relief. Heartburn? Attack it. Zantac.
This Friday, the summer begins. Time to go to work. Rated PG-13. Friday only in theaters.
Top of the 8th inning. And after the Albert Pujols grand slam, the 8th, by the way, of his major league career. A 2-run game is now a 6-run game. 1-1 to Alfonso Soriano against a new St. Louis pitcher, Chris Perez, who follows Mitchell Boggs and Jason Mott.
You know, Perez, another guy that could close, had some opportunities last year. Good arm. But again, with these guys, you know, you can't teach experience. You can't teach situations. You can't teach atmosphere, environment. Those are things that the only way that you're going to become familiar with that is to actually go through that. You know, and in time, they've got the physical ability. Do they have the mental makeup?
2-2 to Soriano. Struck him out again. 3 straight strikeouts for Alfonso Soriano today. 0 for 4, batting in the 3-hole. And now it's Derek Lee. And for more on Derek, let's check in with Ken Rosenthal.
Tom, Eric, Lou Piniella talked all spring about getting his regulars more rest. One player he could start with would be slumping first baseman Derek Lee. Micah Hoffpower gives Piniella a legitimate left-handed alternative at first base. And while Lee is only 33, The Cubs probably could get more out of him if they stopped playing him 150-plus games every season.
Kenny, thank you very much. Of course, Lou Piniella's in a major bind now with all these injuries to this team. Oh, you brought up earlier, they're starting after the injury last night to Manny Ramirez. They're starting Mike Fontenot at third, Ryan Theriot at short, Aaron Miles at second, of course Lee at first. And right now, the way the roster is made up, their backup infielders today are Alfonso Soriano as Lee becomes a second out of the inning. And their backup third baseman today is their backup catcher, Coy Hill.
They're not, not a lot of options. And on top of that, Lou doesn't have a lot of options, and his guys aren't swinging the bats that well. Now, for me, Derek Lee, I'm going to run him out there. Sure, you can give him a breather once in a while, especially when you got that full complement of guys out there, and Ramirez, Milton Bradley, Soto starts hitting. Then I get it. But, you take him out of this lineup, the presence he commands, I mean, that's something that helps the other hitters, and his defense at first base. You remove him there, that may be a run or two over there that he saves each game. So I think Derek Lee, I run him out there. I hope that he gets going. He will get going. I think for him mentally right now, that's the biggest part. He's hit the ball hard a few times, doesn't get anything to show for it. Get people like us talking about, oh, well, he's not the same guy and blah, blah, blah. He goes out there and strings together a good week and a half, 2 weeks. I think he can take off. I don't know if he's the 46 home run guy as he was a few years ago, but he's definitely an important cog of this Cubs offense.
Well, this has been an offense now, through the almost 8 full innings today. The last 4 games, and today being the 4th. The Cubs have not won. Their team batting average is around 190. That one driven into right center field will fall in a base hit for Fontenot. And that takes us to our in-game box score. Brought to you by Hyundai for the Cubs, introducing the all-new 306 horsepower real wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe. See Fontenot now a couple of hits, Fukudome a couple of hits, but the 2 guys in the middle, Soriano and Lee, hitless.
Yeah, you see that right there. Those 2 0 for 4s in the middle of the lineup. I mean, that's something that you're not going to have much success as a ball club in that middle of the lineup. The power.
And for those of you that weren't with us earlier and maybe didn't catch any of the highlights from last night, Manny Ramirez, who has more home runs than any third baseman in the major leagues and more RBIs than any third baseman in the major leagues over the last 7 years, injured a calf in the game here last night. They did not put him on the disabled list. Lou Piniella said, perhaps 3, 4, 5 days, we'll see. Carlos Marmol, their talented young right-hander in the bullpen, left with an injured knee at an MRI before the game, which came back negative, meaning no surgery is required, but he'll miss at least the next couple of games. They're already without Milton Bradley, and that's the one guy of all of this entire group that you wonder why the Cubs have not made a move putting him on the disabled list. I mean, basically Lou Piniella's told him that, we're not going to play you anymore on a daily basis until you're back to 100%. That was prompted after Bradley started a game earlier in the week against the Reds and appeared to have a hard time running. It looked like he wasn't running hard on a ground ball he hit. And so he's not going to put him in the lineup until he's 100%. But the problem is now, while he's not 100%, if you use him as a pinch hitter and he gets on base, you got to have somebody run for him. So every time he's brought into a game, you're using 2 players. Get your thoughts, Eric Karros, about that situation. Cubs are gone in the 8th, and they trail 7-1.
It's been a while since I needed a tie.
Dad, you're gonna get this job. They'll be lucky to have you. I know it.
Just for Men. In 5 easy minutes, targets only the gray to help bring out your best.
How'd it go, Dad?
Honey, I think I'm going to need more ties.
Yes!
Just for Men.
Undefeated professional boxer Floyd "Money" Mayweather has the fastest hands boxing has ever seen. So I've come to this ring to see who's faster on the internet. I'll be using the 3G AT&T Laptop Connect card. He won't. So I can browse the web faster, email business plans faster, all on the go. I'm Bill Curtis, and I'm faster than Floyd Mayweather.
Switch to the nation's fastest 3G network and get the AT&T Laptop Connect card for free.
I thought a complete multivitamin was enough, until I learned 1 in 3 men will face prostate issues. And One A Day Men's has more selenium than Centrum to support prostate health. And it supports heart health. That works for me.
1 A Day Men's.
I like square butts and I cannot lie. Squid and sea star can't deny. When a sponge walks in 4 corners in his pants like he got phone book implants, the crowd shouts. All the ladies stare. And those pants are square.
Buy an adult value meal and get a kid's meal for 99 cents.
Introducing Hyundai Assurance Plus. The assurance means we've got your back. The plus means for a limited time, we're even taking it one step further. If you lose your income, we'll make your payments for 3 months so you can hold on to your car. And if things still aren't up and running, you can bring the car back with no impact on your credit. Plus, now get great deals on a new Hyundai. Hyundai Assurance Plus. It all adds up to a smart time to buy.
Fox Saturday Baseball presented by DirecTV, sponsored by Just for Men. Stay in the game with Just for Men hair color. That's for you, Eric Karros. By Burger King, to remind you to have it your way. And by X-Men Origins Wolverine. The summer begins this Friday only in theaters. Bottom of the 8th inning underway. Chris Duncan looks at a strike from David Patton. Of course, the NFL draft kicked off today. And the team right here in St. Louis, the Rams, selected with a 2nd overall choice, Jason Smith, big offensive tackle out of Baylor. Now, the Chicago Bears have not made their pick in the 1st round yet. They say Mr. Smith is a mighty good offensive lineman, and they'll try and protect Mark Bulger a lot more than they did last year. 1-2 to Chris Duncan. Our Hyundai in-game box score for the Redbirds. 3 for 3 day for Brian Barton. Of course, the blow that broke this one wide open, the grand slam by Pujols in the 7th inning. Check swing and a miss, and Duncan is gone. Of course, Hyundai introduces the all-new 306 horsepower real wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe. Check it out at your Hyundai dealer.
You know, we were looking at that in-game box score, and you know, the thing that jumped out to me, you know, only 2 hitters in that Cardinal lineup, you know, hadn't done anything. And when I say hadn't done anything, didn't have any hits. You know, one of which, Brandon Ryan, he had the good sacrifice, move guys over. But my point is, you know, everybody is contributing. You know, sure, Albert Pujols had the big blow, but everybody else around him getting that hit, moving the guys over, good situational hitting. You see hitting coach Hal McRae talking to Albert Pujols. I told Hal earlier today, I said, man, you're coaching your tail off these first 3 weeks, boy. He just chuckled. He said, now that the players are doing it.
Hal McRae's a good baseball man.
He's
been around
a
long time. Of course, managed for a while with a team which he starred for. There's a base hit by Khalil Green, the Kansas City Royals. Coming up later tonight on Fox, it's the most arresting night on television, beginning with an all-new hour of Cops, followed by a new America's Most Wanted. It all begins at 8 Eastern, 7 Central tonight on Fox. 0-1 to Brian Barton. 1 on, 1 out. St. Louis trying to make it back-to-back wins in this weekend series with a 6-run lead.
You know, how about this, Brian Barton? You mentioned 3 hits, you know, last night. Third baseman Joe Thurston, a big 2-run double. The other night had a big hit against the Mets. But again, I can't say enough about the environment that La Russa has created here with the competitiveness. I mean, sure, everybody's pulling for one another, but you know, really the only guys outside of, you know, Pujols and Molina that are going to be in there every single day. You know, everybody else is, you know, they've got somebody right behind them. They don't know if they're going to be in the lineup, and again, that creates an environment where, hey, a little bit more pressure, a little bit more concentration, a little bit more production.
It's amazing what happens in baseball and in life when you have competition.
Yeah.
Of course, NASCAR will be down in Talladega tomorrow right here on Fox. Had a chance to catch up with our buddy Chris Myers, part of our outstanding team of NASCAR coverage on Fox. Now, I want to get back to you, though, talking about this situation with Milton Bradley, because you were obviously, I mean, a guy who played every day in your career, as Joe Thurston is the pinch hitter. And he looks at a strike, nothing in 2 the count. Thurston, you referred to a moment ago, already with 10 RBIs this year. Former highly touted prospect. Twice was the Dodgers minor league player of the year, but just never got a chance really with a big league club. And there's another hit. Perhaps another RBI. Throw to the plate. Not going to be in time. 11 runs batted in this season for Joe Thurston. 11. That makes it 8-1.
Doing it as a starting player, doing it as a guy that can come in, and you know, he's got great hands. I say great hands, real quick hands, not going to get a fastball by him. And here you see he just keeps his head right on it, drives in a run. You know, another kid that, you know, as you mentioned, was minor league player of the year in the Dodger organization for a few years. Just never really got an opportunity for any period of time. But a career minor leaguer, a guy that's hungry, and he's getting an opportunity here, and he's not going to let it go.
Now back to the top of the order with Brendan Ryan. You know, when you're a player and you know you're hurt and you can't play every day, as is the case right now with Bradley. From a player's perspective, are you better off getting a pinch hit appearance every now and again while you're working yourself to good health, or would you be better off doing nothing but rehabbing and trying to get healthy? In other words, a stint on the disabled list.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I can only speak to me specifically, sure, but I'd absolutely just say, look, I'm not good here. I'm not going to play. Take the time off to get better. The pinch hitting thing, you know, sure, you get in. If you don't have success, then you're getting frustrated with that. You have, you know, an opportunity. I shouldn't say, but you could hurt yourself. You know, you're not out there playing the entire game. You know, I just don't see the benefit. Now, if in Milton's situation, if he was an accomplished pinch hitter that had a lot of success in that role, which he had, you know, he's an everyday guy. That's what he is. You know, if he was, like I said, if he had the ability to pinch hit and be successful, then I could see the argument. But for me, I need Milton Bradley out there every day. I didn't sign him to a 3-year deal, build this club. I don't say build it, but he's a huge cog in this team. The left-handed bat. You know, I didn't bring him over to be a pinch hitter. Get him out of here for a couple weeks, get him healthy, and run him out there and play him every day.
Back to the mound. That throws out Ryan for the second out of the inning. Well, next week right here on Fox. Some of you will see David Wright and the New York Mets take on Ryan Howard and the Phillies. Others will see Houston and Atlanta. Some will see Cleveland and Detroit. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by DirecTV, returns next week. A special time, remember, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, following This Week in Baseball. Lou Piniella will make a pitching change. We're in the bottom of the 8th, all St. Louis today.
I was working late, again, as I often do, and weekends, when I discovered all these amazing features that DirecTV gives customers for free. Instant local weather by zip code.
I love weather.
Mixed channels. Game search.
It's a much better value. What do we do?
2 words. Federal bailout. Read a paper, everybody's doing it.
You've seen our balance sheet. We qualify.
Now you can save $21 a month for an entire year. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
A lot of choices, huh?
Tell me about it.
Because you want a beer that's not too heavy.
Yeah?
But you don't want to compromise on taste, so...
No, I don't.
Just want that perfect balance.
Budweiser. Oh, thanks, man. You know, they ought to pay you.
Steer to help.
The car's perfect. Show me the Carfax.
Sure. Here you go.
What's that?
It's your Carfax.
He said Carfax.
Hi, I'm your Carfax. Buy the car, you're gonna love it. Carfax. Carfax. Same thing, huh?
Carfax provides a vehicle history report so you can buy a used car with more confidence. Get it free at thousands of reputable dealers. Just say, show me the Carfax.
When we first bought the house, the lawn was nothing but brown. So I called my father-in-law. He's really good with the lawn. He knows exactly what to do.
Well, I told him to use Scott's Turf Builder, and he said, well, I got this stuff. I took it, threw it in the garbage. Cheaper brands have filler, sand, gravel, stuff you don't want on your lawn. Scott's Turf Builder is pure food. Every granule is 100% nutrition. You get what you pay for every time. See what happens, Chris, when you listen to your father-in-law? He's getting the hang of it now.
I still think I got the better lawn.
Me. I don't care what he says.
All food, no filler. That's the Scott's advantage.
Neil Kotz on to face left-handed batting Colby Rasmus with 2 on and 2 out. Rasmus' first pitch swinging, a fly ball into left center, should end the inning. And it will. Wynn still playing tricks out there. Cubs will bat in the ninth, trailing 8-1.
The line between like and love, you crossed it. Let the world know. Put your favorite team logo on your credit card, check card, and checks with MLB Banking. Only from Bank of America.
This is Lisa and Jackson. They told us they wanted a laptop with
speed, a big hard drive, and a good gaming computer.
For under $1,500. We told them, you find it, you keep it.
Let's check these out. This is nice. Yeah, let's go see the Max. These are way more money, dude. It's a little too small. Maybe we'd rather go with PC. Let's try that brand. This is good for games, right? Yeah. Blu-ray. We're ready to buy this. What?
They agree. It's a PC.
We're buying this. I'm a PC and I'm 11. And I'm not.
Oh, you liking your salad? This isn't a salad. Sure it is. Salads have lettuce. Where's the lettuce? Check under the cheese. No. Under the chicken? Not here. Maybe under the rice.
Look under the beans.
So it's technically a salad.
Technically.
Introducing Taco Bell's new fully loaded taco salads, available in chicken ranch or chipotle steak. The only thing that makes it a salad is the lettuce.
You think she's into me?
Technically? No.
Think outside the bun.
Hello, ladies. It's not going to work out for us.
Tell me you're not breaking up with me on a conference call.
One big player.
Ginny Parati.
One true love.
I see him again, and I am just right back to where I was before.
One long night.
I'm a ghost of girlfriends past. I'm going to take you through all your past girlfriends.
To figure it out.
Why do all these women hate me?
We dated for 2 days. For an hour. Playing sex. On your car.
I was Shonda back then. Oh, God.
Matthew McConaughey.
You're supposed to be with me.
Jennifer Garner.
No!
Ghosts of Girlfriends Past. Rated PG-13.
Tomorrow, guess who's serving a hot lunch?
What? No!
Oh,
I'm big and yellow, and I'm serving Jello. Hey, big guy, give me some Jello.
All new Simpsons tomorrow at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
Cubs come to bat, trailing 8-1, top of the 9th inning. Blaine Boyer, a one-time Atlanta Brave, on to face Giovanni Soto.
Well, another kid with a good arm, struggling a bit with Atlanta, and the Cardinals hope that he can follow in line as so many pitchers have coming over to the St. Louis Cardinal organization, and have Dave Duncan work his magic.
Well, we've talked at times today about some of the things that have gone wrong, especially just over the last week plus for this Cub team. But really the bottom line, and I thought you hit the nail on the head so accurately, Eric Karros, is that Cub fans these days, it's hard to believe you would ever say this, but with their success the last number of years, as that one's in a deep left center. What a play made by Rasmus. He juggled the ball and then dropped it. Boy, it looked like he had it long enough, and then all of a sudden that thing just squirted out of there. That ball fooled him initially, and he nearly made up the ground.
Well, what was amazing is he turned the other way. He turned counterclockwise and he had to turn over his other shoulder. He had the ball, it ran into the wall. I mean, what an athletic play. He runs it down. It's right there, right at the end. Oh! But just the way he turned and ran after the ball, I didn't think there was a chance because he turned to his left.
So it'll be scored a double. So base hit for Soto. But getting back to the Cubs, as you pointed out, the bottom line is you get one more look at this effort.
Man, right at the edge of that glove,
yep.
too. What an effort.
The bottom line is this could be a 4-game losing streak if they're unable to come back from 7 down here in the 9th inning. But they're still going to be a 500 team. I mean, it's not like all of a sudden they're waking up and looking in the newspaper and you're 4-10.
Well, it's interesting you say that. I was looking, coming into today in the National League, there were only 4 teams with fewer losses than the Cubs, and 3 of those are division leaders. So again, I think it's our expectations, whether it's the media or the Cubs themselves, Cubs fans. I mean, they have a good ball club. They have a great ball club. They have the potential to run and hide. And because they haven't done it in the first 2 weeks, oh my goodness, and they will be fine, assuming that these injuries are just weak things, or and this team will be different with Milton Bradley in the lineup every day. Their starters have thrown well. I tell you what, there's a lot of managers in the National League that would gladly trade places with Lou Piniella and take this Cubs ball club.
No question about it. Michael Hoffpauir getting some playing time this season, both in the outfield, a little bit at first base. Lifts this one to short center, and the Cubs are down to their final out of the afternoon. We will see the Cubs plenty more times on Fox Saturday Baseball, and I would suspect that we'll see them having things go more their way the next time we see the Cubs. The producer of today's game, Jeff Gallen. Our director is Jim Lynch. Our associate director, Eric Billigmeyer. Yvonne Wagner, our broadcast associate. Matt Benedict, our technical producer. There's a roller foul. Our senior producer at Fox Sports, Bill Brown. Executive producers, David Hill and Ed Gorin. Now, where are you next Saturday, Mr. Karros?
I am in Philadelphia, Mets, Philly. Looking forward to that ball game.
Big league game.
Yeah, big league game. 2 of the powerhouses in the East. Florida's come back a bit. Philly had that big win the other night. Mets.
Lined into center field. Boy, Theriot. He just keeps playing. Base hit by Theriot. Second hit. He has knocked in both Cub runs today. He's the kind of guy, the more you watch him, the more you like him.
Well, he's a baseball player. He's going to go out there and grind. He's not flashy. He's not a guy that you're going to watch 1 or 2 games and say, wow, oh, this guy is great. But over the course of a season, he's going to go out there. He's going to play solid defense. He's going to come to play every day. He's going to give you an at-bat.
Now Kosuke Fukudome, 2 hits and 4 at-bats. They'll let Terrio take second base. There's a wild one going on at Fenway. Yankees were ahead 6-0 with A.J. Burnett on the mound. Boston took the lead 8-6. Yankees tied it at 8-8. Boston now ahead 9-8. And they're only in the 7th inning. 0-2 to Fukudome. Final game of this series is tomorrow. Rich Harden against Todd Wellmeyer. Certainly the schedule has been very advantageous to St. Louis in this season's opening month. Tomorrow will be their 13th home game in the month of April against just 6 road games, but they've made the most of it at home. Game over. 8 runs, 10 hits for St. Louis, 2 runs, 10 hits for Chicago. Pujols a grand slam, giving him 7 homers and 25 runs batted in on the year. Mitchell Boggs, the winner, 1-0. Sean Marshall, the tough luck loser, is 0-1. We'll return to St. Louis for more post-game coverage right after these messages from your local Fox station.
This could be our chance.
Fringe, only Tuesday after American Idol on Fox.
At S.J. Smith Company, Gases, Welding, Safety, and Industrial Solutions, our goal is to identify cost-effective answers to fit your unique challenges. Our repair service department is certified and the only local authorized dealer by Thermodynamics Equipment. Our on-call staff will help you minimize downtime and keep your production on target. Plus, S.J. Smith has a wide selection of rental welding machines. For short or long-term rentals, call S.J. Smith and see what we can do for you. You have the questions, S.J. Smith has the answers. Allow our expertise to work for you. Find out more at sjsmith.com.
Every day, more shoppers are discovering that they can get more for their money at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. We appreciate your business as we continue to work hard at keeping our prices low on the name brand products that you know and trust. Right now, save on the Preen Weed Preventer with Brilliant Blooms Fertilizer. It's $24.99. Assorted Livingston vegetable and flower seed packets are on sale. They're now 25% off. And Miracle Grow and Rich Potting Mix, just $9.49. Get more and spend less at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Cardinals hand the Cubs their 4th straight loss, 8-2 the final today. For the series finale tomorrow, promotional consideration provided by tonight on Fox. Don't miss an all-new hour of Cops, followed by a new America's Most Wanted. It begins at 8 Eastern, 7 Central tonight on Fox. Tomorrow, NASCAR from Talladega Super Speedway for the Sprint Cup Series racing. Our coverage gets started at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Then next Saturday, again, we remind you, a great doubleheader with Fox Saturday Baseball at a special time of 3:30. Some will see the Mets and Phillies, others the Astros in Atlanta, some Cleveland and Detroit. Then stay tuned for NASCAR Sprint Cup Series next weekend from Richmond, Virginia. Our coverage begins at 7 Eastern. For Eric Karros, I'm Thom Brennaman saying so long from St. Louis. You've been watching Fox Sports, your home for the 2009 Major League All-Star Game and the 2009 World Series. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you next Saturday.
Danger looms at the baddest track on the planet. Live from Talladega, tomorrow, 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific, on Fox.
This has been a presentation of Fox Sports. Home to the All-Star Game, the American League Championship Series, and the World Series. America's grand game is on Fox.
We are Fox Sports!
Mediacom means different things to different people.
I get thousands of free on-demand movies and shows every month.
My downloads are up to 6 times faster than my old DSL.
And I can talk to my sister in Seattle for as long as I want.
Mediacom means big savings. Get digital cable, high-speed internet with WebBoost, and unlimited nationwide calling for just $29.95 a month each for a year.
Mediacom means slow downloads are a thing of the past.
Call 1-800-CABLE-TV.